online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
Hey, what's up? Let's go. Off and running with you here on this Friday. It's a free-for-all Friday, sort of kind of feels that way. Already today, running around. I've been running around, getting all kinds of stuff done. Looking forward to the show. Looking back at scores last night in the first four. You got NCAA basketball. Who's going to play today? I mean, and it's been a busy morning. Looking forward to baseball. Of course, State on the road, Ole Miss at home. So, yeah, I mean, it already sort of feels like, hey, it's a big-time Friday. There's a lot going. You're going to need more than one screen to be able to follow everything that you're probably going to want to, follow, right? Right. In fact, games going on as we speak, March Madness, and I haven't even asked y'all just how, if you were to give it a 1 to 10 scale, or maybe even give me a 1 through 100 percentage of, level of excitement for March Madness. Every year we're pretty pumped about it. Last year we didn't have it. This year we have it. You got games going on right now, even not to mention, those games that went on last night. So it's just a fun time of year. Florida is playing. Let's see here. 10-seed Virginia Tech, 7-seed Florida early. Va-Tech with a 2-point lead. They are playing in that South region here in the first round. Where's that being played, though? What's the location? I guess, is that Indianapolis? Arkansas is in action as well. Arkansas is a 3-seed in the tournament, and they're going up against Colgate, a 14-seed. Yeah, and Arkansas right now trailing. Close game early. It's 14-12 Colgate. So I'll update you on scores. And we'll take a look at baseball as well. Plenty of that coming up this weekend. I'm Matt here in the Farm Bureau studio. Farm Bureau Go! With the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance across the great state of Mississippi. Your hometown heroes, that's your local Farm Bureau Insurance agent. Now, on a free-for-all Friday, we just kind of put it in your lap. Whatever you want to talk about is fine with me. Yesterday, a lot of the texts and a lot of the calls had to do with baseball. Even though we were still at that time, a little greater than 24 hours away. Now we're day of. For SEC baseball, people are excited about that. And, usually this time of year in the state of Mississippi, people get pumped up about, postseason basketball. Here, recent years, you had Mississippi State women's teams that were getting set to be top 5 seeds and top 2-3 seeds, in the women's tournament. Y'all tell me if I'm wrong. I just don't sense quite as much excitement for basketball this year. Is that an understatement?
I don't think so.
You feel the same way?
It's hard to get into. Yeah. I mean, I'm still into it. We had it on at the course this morning in Roosevelt's, and of course Kyle was all excited because the Gators were playing Virginia Tech, and that's his team.
I gotcha.
But yeah, I mean, it just doesn't seem to have that enticement, that it usually does from years past.
Right. Not quite as juiced up.
Mm-mm.
Looks like Virginia Tech's going to take a lead into halftime over Florida. Florida's the 7 seed. Virginia Tech is a 10.
Mm-hmm. Virginia
Tech went 15-6 this year. Florida 14-9. Am I looking at that right? You look at Florida's a team this year I didn't pay necessarily, all that close attention to. And they finished, 5th in the SEC? So
yeah, they had the kid that collapsed on the hardwood,
mm-hmm.
and he was one of their better players. I think they might have had a little better season if they had not gone through that. But hey, man, everybody had some craziness that they were dealing with. So
and they're a 7 seed, but I guess they're the last SEC team to get in, right? Because you had 5 teams from the SEC that got in the tournament. Alabama, a 2 seed, they were the league champion. Then Arkansas, like I said, they're playing right now. They're a 3 seed. They were the runner-up in the league. LSU was in 3rd place. They were 4.5 back of Alabama. than Tennessee and Florida. And the thing about it is, you look at this, how close Ole Miss was. Florida, 5th in the SEC this year. They get in there a 7 seed. They are 1 spot ahead in the league anyway. They finished 1 spot ahead of Ole Miss. The same number of games back in terms of league play. Okay, so in SEC play, they were 6 games back of Alabama. So was Ole Miss. Florida in the conference had 1 fewer win. They played fewer games because of cancellations. So Florida was 9-7 in the SEC this year. Ole Miss was 10-8. So Ole Miss had 1 more win, but they also had 1 more loss. And then, not all wins and not all losses are equivalent, I guess. But again, it just kind of shows you. I mean, Florida's sitting there as a 7 seed, trailing at halftime in this first round game. Ole Miss was really close. I mean, I haven't talked about it a whole lot since the end of the season, and Ole Miss got into the NIT, I guess, as a 1 seed in the NIT. But, not only how close they were to getting in the NCAA tournament, just the fact, though, that I think they really overachieved. Don't you think?
Well, they came on pretty strong towards the end of the season. When they first started out, they had those couple of COVID games that was missed.
Right.
And I really thought State would probably end up with a better record. And Ole Miss kind of surprised me because they flipped that on them. State was 8-10.
Well, that's right. And early
Ole
in
Miss
the
was 10-8.
That's it. Yeah, early on, Ole Miss was just hovering right there around 500, and finished the year at 16-11. Finished the year 5 games above 500, which if you go back to January, February, nobody thought that was going to happen.
Right.
So they did turn it on. They were really close. They were really, really close. And those resumes had to, between them and Florida, those resumes had to be really, really close to each other. And I mean, Florida's a 7 seed in here. So, one of those coulda, shoulda, woulda. Look, I was talking about expectations the other day. And, of course, the context of that conversation was women's basketball. People were saying, Ole Miss, Coach Yo and Ole Miss women, they are in the NIT, glad to do it. They put out a statement, we're happy to be in it. We're going to try to go win the NIT. On the other hand, Mississippi State's women not getting in the NCAA tournament, they had already let it be known ahead of time, we're not going. If we don't make the NCAA tournament, we're not playing in the NIT. They'd already let them know. We went through all those things, but the whole point of that conversation was expectations. You go, why didn't State choose to play in the NIT? Why wouldn't you play? Well, that's what I said, expectations. And so
expectations, but you got to think they'd had enough.
Yeah.
I mean, how many girls have left the program since then?
4? Yeah. Today, she did a press conference today. Nikki McCray-Penson, she did a press conference today and said she had 8 players committed to coming back and playing for the program. Did not single out who they were. And I know there was a question about Rakia Jackson. I don't know if that answer was in response to that, but according to the tweets and everything from the media that were involved in the press conference, she did not say specifically that Rakia Jackson was definitely coming back. She just said, we got 8 people that are coming back and that are committed to, play for the program. So anyway, that was the conversation, those expectations, the difference. When you come into the year, you have no expectations of doing anything you haven't for years. All of a sudden you overachieve a little bit, win some games you're not supposed to if you're Ole Miss, I'm talking about. They upset Arkansas in the women's tournament. Now they're going to the NIT, and the direction is upward. Okay, so they've overachieved according to expectations. Opposite is true for Mississippi State women. So the reason I bring that up is, we're sitting here looking back on it. We haven't talked a lot about the NIT, but Kermit Davis and Ole Miss, I think they overachieved according to expectations. I really do. When you come into the year, I don't know where they picked them, but it had to be down near the bottom of the league. And when it's all said and done, at least in terms of SEC play, they finish ahead of Missouri and Kentucky. They finish ahead of Mississippi State and Auburn. Right? I mean, they are 6th in the SEC standings, just barely a percentage point behind Florida, who's 5th in the league, got in as a 7 seed because Florida actually played fewer games, but same number of games back of the SEC champion as Florida was. You'd have to say that they overachieved. Kermit Davis and that program did this year. So, take your hat off to them. No question about it. All right. I'm going to come to your texts, 100 grand, and Micah, I'm coming to y'all. First, though, let's jump over to the phone line. Davini Equipment phone line, Davini Equipment in Madison and in Jackson. Your Kubota dealer, the oldest Kubota dealer in the U.S. It means they've been doing it better, longer than anyone else right here at Davini. Chris is hanging on. Thanks for calling, Chris. What's up? Chris, are you there?
Yeah, we lost him a little bit ago, and then he just called back. So I think he's going through a bad cell area.
He's going through a rough patch?
Yeah. So he told me he was out trucking, so I'm assuming he's just got a bad signal. So he'll call back.
Okay, no problem. Country Pleasing text line, 885-ESPN. That's the number to text the show, 885-ESPN or 885-3776. Text away, Country Pleasing Sausage on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. Nick says, hoops hasn't been the same since Winsome Frazier was filling buckets, to be honest. Yeah, good point. After watching Bowers and Lawrence Roberts and Power and Frazier and those guys, it hasn't quite been the same since, has it? Yeah, I mean, you actually kind of have a good point. Micah says, Matt, did you fill out a bracket? If so, who did you choose? I didn't fill one out. I'm not big on bracket stuff. I'm a real party pooper in that regard. I've done it in the past. I've always kind of done it reluctantly. And just because, one is I had a few times there where I was I filled out the obligatory bracket because, hey, I'm a sports talk radio host, and when I was doing other shows. And I would fill them out, and the whole time I'm filling them out going, number one, I'd never put money on this. I haven't watched half these teams play this year. Okay, I'm not an expert. It's a total guess, number one. So I don't have any certainty on half the picks that I'm doing in a thing. And then the other thing is then I'd fill the bracket out and forget to check it. I can't remember the last time I actually filled a bracket out and kept up with it throughout the tournament. It's just not my deal, man. So it'd be a waste of my time and everybody else's if I'm in here. Oh, here's my bracket, and this happened on my bracket. I'll admit I've done it in the past, but I was sort of acting. I don't care. Just tell me who won, who's playing, what time does it start. That's kind of the way I go about it here.
You're minimalist.
Maybe so. Maybe that's what it is.
That's okay.
But it's like, why am I filling out
got to be something.
Why am I filling out a bracket when literally the 5 SEC teams that are in it are the only ones I've watched all year? Like, what am I filling out? What am I doing here? I'm just flip a coin. I'd be just as well off on my bracket, quote unquote. I mean, that's what we're all doing. What's the fun in that? It's a total guess.
What about these folks that fill out like 50 brackets?
Yeah, what about those folks? Okay. What? Here's the next question. After we say, what about those folks? Here's the next question.
Who cares?
What medications are they on? All right, Chris, he's back on the Davini phone. Chris, thanks for calling. What's up?
What's up, Matt? How are you doing?
Just right. Happy Friday.
Hey, first thing I was going to say is, what girls have left that we know of?
Oh my goodness! You had to do that, didn't you? Dadgummit, Chris.
I did. You don't have to give it to me right now. You can look it up in the break. And let me know on the other side. I'm listening.
I'll put it this way: I called their names out yesterday, and I don't remember. It's 4 of them. That's what I do know.
Okay. So the other thing is that you know what? After listening to all Ben McDonald and Steve Robinson this week, I just happen to think that we're going to LSU and we're going to come home with 3 wins.
Okay. 3 wins, a sweep at LSU.
That's my hot take. That's right. That's right.
Chris, I want you
And-
to be
and
honest.
hey, if
I want you to be
history-
honest
if
with
history-
me. Hold on. I want you to be honest with me.
Okay.
Are you drinking? I'm kidding.
Nope.
You don't have to answer that.
Nope. Nope. I'm driving this big truck. Can't drink.
Okay,
Nope.
all right. Well, then it's a legit prediction.
But
He's predicting sweep.
That is a legit prediction. But I will say this: if that happened, and then history holds up between us and Arkansas, we might be staring 6-0 in the SEC in the face. Because hey, we've swept the last time they were here. They swept us last time we were there.
Right. Yeah.
Never know.
Hey,
And then
you never know.
crazier things have happened. It's the game of baseball.
You ain't kidding, man. Baseball's crazy.
I mean, think about it. Think about it. The Braves have only won one World Series.
Well, and that's like, the State's got a hitter or two. People go, well, his average is just below 300. Yeah, well, I can show you about 5 times this year where he lined one, I'm talking about squared one up, hit a frozen rope right to the right fielder. Yet,
Rowdy Jordan.
well, several, yeah, he's one. And then they got some other guys who they got pretty decent averages, and like every one of their hits have been choppers on the infield, and they beat it out. I mean, it is such a crazy game, no doubt. Okay, well,
It is.
we got you.
Well, y'all have a great day.
You too, Chris.
Have a great weekend, and I'll talk to y'all Monday.
Let's talk to you Monday. Hey, look, if State sweeps LSU, definitely call me back on Monday because we'll want more of that. Look at here. 100 grand, says Matt. JB, what's going on? It's Friday. Dion is doing his thing at JSU. Let's get some tunes for the weekend to kick it off right. Oh, yeah, the girls, JSU basketball team in the tournament. And play it for my guy who's gone but not forgotten, Roger. He wants to hear a little bit of Sonic Boom. You asked for it. You got it. My dog Champ is in here and his ears perked up. He can hear it through the other headphones over there. Roll your windows down. Ride around Jackson, turn it up to 11, and see if anybody gives you a look. Bates says, Dear Mr. Wyatt, can I get a hallelujah? SEC baseball is here. Hallelujah! People on the live stream enjoyed the Sonic Boom, including Sven all the way from Berlin. Sonic Boom, oh yeah, I like that. Same here. Thanks, Sven. Let's see. Somebody asking about television? Yeah. State versus... I don't know. State versus LSU is on tonight on the SEC Network. It's not on ESPN. Micah in Batesville said, did JB fill out a bracket? JB, did you fill one out?
Yeah, I did, pal. Sure did.
So give us the deets. Who you have winning it?
Man. Oh.
You don't remember. See?
No, I got it. We got it right here. We did a door bracket in the studio. And so me and Beaver, Brooks, Jake Wynn, and I just got to find mine.
I bet you got Gonzaga winning it all because that's the way you've been talking here lately. Let's see here. Hey, while you do that, real quick update. Hold on to your hats, SEC fans.
All right.
The Florida Gators, 7-seed Gators, trailing the 10-seed Hokies 33-27 at halftime today. And right now in the first half, 3-seed Arkansas trails the 14-seed Colgate, whatever they are, the Colgate toothbrushes, by 8. It's a 25-17 early lead for Colgate.
Yeah, well, if that happens, my bracket gets busted because I got Florida winning and I got Arkansas winning. But from my Final Four, it's it's not a great prognosticator. I've got a few upsets through the course, but when it comes down to the nuts and bolts, it's Gonzaga, Baylor, Michigan, and Illinois.
Okay.
And I've got Gonzaga and Illinois in the final game. Gonzaga 78-69.
Oh, man. And another big blow for the Big Ten. Sometimes, what has it been, 25, 30 years since the Big Ten won a basketball championship? I guess you go back to Fab 5, don't you?
Right. Well, Juwan Howard is the head coach at Michigan.
Yeah. And they got a good team, but you think about the chances that a league like the Big Ten in basketball goes that long without winning one. It's just
really
crazy.
Because, two of my Final Four are Big Ten teams.
Yeah. Well,
I got Arkansas getting to the Elite Eight.
You better be saying woo pig.
And Alabama as well.
Got it, Alabama moving on up.
Yeah, they're going to.
Hey,
I got them going to the Elite Eight and get beat by Michigan.
Your bracket is going to need some comebacks, JB.
Mm-hmm.
All right, Arkansas down by 8 early. Right out of the chute, Drexel, the 16 seed, is laying it on the 1 seed Illinois. I say right off the bat, it's just like 5-2. Okay, so let's don't freak out yet. I love tracking these scores. Over here on Facebook, Terry was asking, are the JSU ladies in the tournament? Jason gave you the answer. Yes, they play Baylor Sunday at 2. So there you go.
Good luck with that.
Hold on to your butts, as Samuel L. would say. Well, you never know. That's why they tee it up.
That's why they toss it up, right?
Yeah. Colgate up by 11 in the first half on Arkansas, 30-19. Look at here. Mm-hmm.
All these the whitening Colgate or just the sensitive.
Arkansas is going to need some of that medical grade stuff. They're getting punched in the mouth right now. Y'all stick around.
This portion of the Matt Wyatt Show is brought to you by Ameristar.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt. Just answer the questions. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Answer the questions. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if you know who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
A lot of people in the equipment world things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, but this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Bird's Eye buy this week is Bird's Eye.
The Matt Wyatt Show. The guy who, if he's not talking sports, hey, he's fishing for bass, okay? But he's right here, right now. Online at 1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
Friday, welcome in. Free for all Friday. What y'all want to talk about? You let me know. Sorry, Champ. Champ's hanging out. Champ, the Wonder Schnauzer, is hanging out with me in the bureau today, the Farm Bureau Insurance Studio.
Your girls must not be at home then.
Not here, because let me tell you, if either one of them were here, that's where
he's
he'd
with
be.
him.
Only reason he hangs out with me is if I'm the only one left in here. And but I keep every time I raise my. He's doing his best to take a nap in the chair over there, and every time I raise my voice, he raises his head up, looks at me like man, what's wrong with you? He didn't realize I'm entertaining the masses. Champ, I'm doing my job, buddy. Yeah, good old Champ. He's hanging
by the way,
there.
how's Dub doing?
Oh, Dub the kitten.
Yeah.
Well, let me just tell you.
Hadn't heard about him in a while.
Well, let me just tell you. Okay, we did him a tremendous favor this week, because yesterday was going to be his appointment to go get how shall I say it?
Oh, taken care of.
Clipped.
Yeah, I understand.
Mm-hmm. Knocked
Very
down
familiar.
a few notches.
Very familiar with that.
Yesterday was going, but the whole week got fouled up because of the bad weather on Wednesday, and schedules got pushed back and things had to be moved. So he gets a few more days of walking around here like he owns this place, but his whole world's going to change.
So is he kind of like a Garfield cat?
No, look, these cats, man, and again, like, we've never been cat owners ever, and then God just put these cats in our lives.
Right.
The story is we have two. Al was the first one, Big Al, and now Dub is the little Dub, and he's tiny. Okay. Big Al was a little bitty baby kitten and ran out in front of us in the row, these wild cats that live downtown Tupelo. He was one of those, and he ran out in front of us. And the girls eventually went and chased him and caught him, brought him home. He became ours. Well, Al, we thought was a girl, so they named it Allie because it came from the alley.
Right.
And then they take him to the vet, and they're like, hey, you got a boy. And so Allie became Al. And well, the reason I call him Big Al, you got to see this cat. I am not kidding you. I'm not
weigh about
kidding
20
you.
pounds?
Twice the size of most, even big cats. This dude is humongous. He's nearly as big as the dog is. And not fat either.
Really?
He's got something in him.
So he's not plump. He's like maybe
Hey, let me tell
a
you.
hybrid.
If he was, and he doesn't have a mean bone in his body. This cat is so laid back and relaxed. And if he knew how big he was, he could whip all of us if he wanted to. He's big. All right, that's Big Al. Big,
Well, it sounds like the
handsome
name
Al.
fits him, man.
I call him the trash kitty, the dumpster kitty. The girls hate that, but he doesn't mind. But then little Dub is teeny tiny. He's not going to be very big. And it's a very, very unique light gray with these weird stripes all over him. But Dub's personality so far is, if there is a teeny tiny opening anywhere, I'm going in it without any questions asked. He's gone up the chimney.
Oh, no.
He's, hey, the other night he decided to go under the little, what do you call it? That's the little chest of drawers that sits next to either side of the bed.
Oh, yeah, your bedside table.
A little bedside deal, but it's drawers in it. So the crack underneath it is only about 2.5. He goes up under there, gets stuck, can't get out. He's constantly getting into everything. So, but they're hanging in
Well,
there.
he's in his terrible twos, right?
He kind of is. And I think what's going to happen is he'll calm down a little bit after the you know what. You know what I'm saying? He's going to calm down just a little bit then.
I said that about my daughter's dog when we first got him.
Mm-hmm.
And no, that dog is something else. She named him Samson. He ended up being 3 times bigger than any of the other puppies. And he had crazy hair.
Isn't that something?
Yeah. He had this kind of Rastafarian hair if it grew out. So
yeah. Well,
you did it when you
these
named
animals
Samson.
these animals are something else. I really wish that I wish we could have held on to Lady a little longer. Champ's hanging in there though. He's doing okay. He's starting to adjust and it's interesting. Champ and Lady used to always sit by the front door and stare out the front door, sitting side by side. They just stare out the front door watching squirrels and birds and stuff. And now he and Al do that. It's like Al sitting right in Lady's place. It's interesting. And he's bigger than Lady was. That cat is. Yeah, the cat's huge, man. It's amazing. I don't know if we overfeed him or what, but he's healthy. All right. That answers the pet question. We're back with you here on a Free for All Friday. Can you tell? Can you tell? All right. Real quick, let me jump back over here on the live stream. E. Hart, watching the show on YouTube, says, man, I wish we had never lost Stansbury. I had somebody else. Joe Pesci over here on the Country Pleasing text line also said, I want Stansbury back. Didn't Stansbury get Western Kentucky in the NIT, but narrowly missed out?
Yeah, they got beat the other night.
Did they?
I think so. I have to go back and check that. I watched some of that game. Yeah, they were a 1 seed and were getting beat by. No, that was their conference tournament. I saw that. I take that back. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they won the conference tournament though, didn't they?
They did. They came back and won it.
Okay, but how do you win that conference tournament and not get in the NCAA tournament?
That's a good question because there were a number of other schools. Kind of the same thing happened to.
Yeah. I mean, Belmont was in the same boat. Let's see. Jeff on the YouTube live stream said he's a state grad, but he grew up a Jackson State fan. Gotta love the Sonic Boom. No doubt about it. Jeff said that in 2009 when Jackson State played Mississippi State, that he had a blue and white pom-pom in one hand and a cowbell in the other. State alumni shirt with an all-white JSU hat on. Can you imagine the looks I received? Yeah, I bet you did. That was so much fun. And again, so we're pushing 12 years ago. That is just hard to believe, Jeff, that we're pushing 12 years ago. But man, that was so much fun. That 2009 season opener against Jackson State. I guess it was fun, especially if you're a State fan, because you won the game. It was Mullen's first game. They'd promised some offense, and the offense moved up down the field. And Chad Bumphus was a freshman who played well and caught 1 or 2 touchdowns or something in that game. And so the game itself was good, and weather was pretty good. But having a Sonic Boom there, and not only their halftime show, but their entrance into the stadium, their music and their songs and things they did during the game, it's one of the most entertaining games I've ever been to. And the Sonic Boom had a whole lot to do with that. I wish we'd see more of those. I really do. Davini Equipment phone line. Houston. Houston, Houston, Houston. That's a country song. Look it up. What's up, Houston?
How you doing, Matt?
I'm doing great. Thanks for calling.
I just wanted to thank you for sharing my video that I did for
the walk off. The
kind of walk off.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the thing about that is, I've always tried to take a bunch of them, and they may not work, sometime, but you get lucky every once in a while, and you end up with situations like that.
Right.
And thank you for what you've done as a former Bulldog, and and like I said, spring practice has started. We're so fired up for this baseball team, and we are very, very, very just blessed beyond belief to have you and Neil in the booth for football for sure.
Yeah, well, Houston, thank you. I appreciate it. Appreciate the kind words. Yeah, your video was great. If y'all want to take a look, it's on Facebook, and I'm pretty sure I shared it on the Matt Wyatt Media page. I may have. If not, I'll go back and look. But Houston had a great video. He was sitting right behind home plate when Logan Tanner hit that walk-off the other night, and I guess that was against who? That was against Eastern Michigan, Houston. And as much as, the fans' reaction and the noise, I really enjoyed your reaction. You were elated, to say the least, when that ball went over the fence.
Just happy we won the game. I didn't know that it went out of the park, where that where I sit actually is really close to the opposing dugout, which I love.
Yeah.
Because I can hear exactly what the coaches are telling them.
Uh-huh.
So, like, I can wait until the last, until the music dies down, and then, like, if they say, watch out for the curveball, I'll yell out, throw my fastball or something like that. I mean,
that's great.
It really has some form of advantage for us. Now, I don't do it to, a lot of my friends, like the other night we were playing, I think it was Stanford, and their coach, Casey Dunn, who's a wonderful coach,
said,
it's right there in the middle, Brad, throw, or whatever. He got mad at the umpire, and the next 2 or 3 pitchers, our pitcher, which I believe was Brandon Smith at the time, threw it straight down the middle, and I said, was that down the middle or what? Then my roommate, he just lost it because it was so funny. But I don't try to be a comedian or whatever, but
and Houston, look, it was great to see your video, and good to see you at the game. And next home game, I'll come down and take a look, see if I can shake your hand. Hey, great to hear from you. Thanks for calling.
Oh, yeah. Thank you. It's nice seeing you. Thank you.
You too. Call me anytime. Rolling along, Free for All Friday. Y'all stick around.
There's a lot of... After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta. Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Again, that's if you listen to me, you can use discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, and at checkout, you're going to get a 10% discount off your order. So I just went online, ordered them, BlueDeltaJeans.com a couple weeks ago. Went in, I didn't go get measured. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are at my doorstep a couple weeks later. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Nice. I'm happy. I've known the Blue Delta team for years, and I'm thrilled to have these guys on as a sponsor of this show. Blue Delta's Virtual Tailor is a fun and easy way to get yourself into the best fitting pair of jeans you're ever going to own. But you never thought you'd get a butt shot out of me, huh? How about that? Just answer the questions and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions. It's amazing how they do it. They will fit perfectly. You're not going to find better material and better feeling pants, period, anywhere. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use this code, Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. I promise you that. And I know that you are going to love them too. Make sure you use the code. And remember, jeans do come true.
After these messages, we'll be right back. Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today, and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. And remember, folks, Meadow Gold
Is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jell-O Instant Pudding, made by the famous Jell-O folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert. Jell-O Instant Pudding.
All right, so Arkansas is taking over. That's halftime, though. 3-point ball game halftime. Florida's facing a comeback. They're going to have to come back here in the second half. They want to advance. And I'll keep you updated. Let's see here. What do you have for me here on the Country Pleasing text line? Country Pleasing sausage on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast. It is the best, period, hands down. I wore my lime green, gray, and red Country Pleasing hat yesterday on the show, and somebody commented on the live stream and said, I have to have one of those hats. You want one of the hats? I wear a bunch of different hats from Country Pleasing. Go to Country Meat Packers on Highway 49 in Florence. Go on in there. They've got a bunch of the hats. And you might be able to pick one up online. Also, countrypleasing.com. Try that. Check it out. All right. Reservoir Dog texted the show. He said, as much as I love my Diamond Dogs, I do not think that we're going to win 6 games in a row. Reservoir Dog signed off, not drunken Brandon. That was after Chris's call. It says they're going to sweep LSU and they're going to sweep Arkansas the following weekend. Go 6-0 to start the year. Let me tell you what. if State does that, they will be solidly number one in the country. But the likelihood of that happening, slim. Those other teams are really good, But can State win both those series? No doubt. And look, stranger things have happened. So, but that was Chris. Let's put it by his name. Back-to-back sweeps, LSU and Arkansas. All right. Dog tired in Florence. What is this? Yeah. He says, how big is the burlap sack that you're putting Big Al in to get the snip? Well, Al has already had it done. Big Al is much older and has already had it done. Little Dub is the one who he's going to have to take a trip. He'll come back a little different than he went in, put it that way. Louvier says, please don't take it as a slight to my family, but sometimes my dog is the only thing that makes me smile. He's a big furry ball of love. It just makes me smile. Yeah, dogs have that way about them, don't they? I love coming home because Champ always is the first one to meet me at the door. And he has the same routine every time. We do. I come in. He meets me at the door. He hears me. He runs to the door. He's like 2 feet away from the door when I open it. He looks at me and barks at me. Then every time he turns around immediately, runs through the house. He's got 2 or 3 of these little stuffed animal toys that are his, that squeak when he chews on them and stuff. He immediately turns, sprints, goes and finds one of those, picks it up, runs it right back to me because he knows then I will chase him. And so we play a game of chase where I say, give me that toy. And I chase him around. I finally get my hand on it and we tug a war and he growls at me as he's trying to pull it out of my hand. I'm trying to pull it out of his. Eventually I'll get it from him and make him chase me. Yep, that's our routine. Just about every time I get home. And it makes me smile. And dude, nobody's ever been happier to see me come through the door than him, I don't think. And we've had him now for 12 years. And he's really, so far, so good. Knocking on wood.
Yeah, you know what, man? No matter what kind of day you have, at least for me, my dogs greet me, and if my daughter's dogs are at our house, they greet me.
Yeah.
And it's like, hey, man, we're so glad you're here. What you doing? How you know?
Right.
And I can look at my daughter or my son or my wife, and they may look at me and go,
hey.
Oh,
hey,
you're back.
Yeah.
I didn't know you were coming home.
Yeah, I'm watching TV. Don't disturb me, Dad.
Man down.
White Denzel said, Western Kentucky lost in the Conference USA Tournament Championship game. Belmont also lost in the championship game of their conference tournament. Right, because if they had won them, they'd have been in, right? Those conference champions get those automatic buys. Not buys. They get an automatic bid. Yeah. Okay, thanks, Denzel. So they were close, but no cigar. Anthony from Tupelo. What did he say here? Please, for the love of Pete, can we not bring Stansberry back? Come on, man. Y'all still mad? Still mad. The real unnamed texter was giving us the information about Arkansas finishing the half on that 17-0 run. Yeah, so a 3-point lead at halftime for Arkansas, 36-33 after trailing for most of the first half of that ball game against Colgate. Arkansas is a 3-seed, Colgate a 14. If I can give you a quick, let's see, Florida has cut Virginia Tech's lead to 6, but you got a long way to go. There's still like 13 minutes left in that ball game. So long way to go. Keep you posted on that one. Micah gave us the list of Mississippi State women's basketball players that have already announced that they are transferring. Micah says it is Yamaya Morris, Sydney Cooks, Zaria Wiggins, Jemiah Mingo Young. These are the women who are seeking transfer from Mississippi State women's basketball team. Micah, thanks for the list. You know, and it's interesting when you bring that up. I was in Starkville yesterday and talked with a lot of different folks and went out and caught a little bit of football practice, sort of privately, saw something. It was really cold out there. The wind was blowing like crazy. But anyway, and it's interesting, like when you talk to people about the women's basketball team and their situation, you don't exclusively run into one opinion, okay? Not every person you talk to, really wherever you go, but not every person you talk to immediately goes, oh yeah, they've done a bad job. It's a bad situation. They burned it down and it's not working. It's not everybody. Some people say that, but not everybody. You do hear a lot of people go, you can bring it up and say, yeah, I see they got a bunch of people transferring. And I've had a few people say, yeah, but some of those are, different type situations. One is an older player who wasn't playing and wants to go to law school, and those things are pretty normal, and they kind of downplay it. And I think, yeah, I guess that's true. But still, it's 4 players off your roster. As we were talking about earlier, Nikki McCray-Penson had a press conference today, and she said that she has 8 players committed to coming back and playing for her, and that it's now about going out and recruiting a championship basketball team. This is what we know about that team this year. And saying this, describing it this way, is not necessarily an automatic indictment on the coaching staff or whatever, because we don't know. I haven't been in their locker room or at their practices or on their bus or in their meetings to know what the dynamic was like that led to the season that they had. I don't know. But you could watch the product on the floor and you could absolutely know this. There's some players that coaching staff didn't like, and some of those players didn't like that coaching staff. That's a fact. Okay, you can watch them play and tell that. You can watch the coaching staff coach and tell that. There's some sort of non-G-Hall. There's some sort of dislike, disapproval going back both ways. From coaching staff to players and players to coaching staff. There was definitely a disconnect there. I don't know what it is or what it was. I don't know. But to say it is pretty obvious, I think. Sven said on the YouTube live stream, Schaefer is an elite head coach. Chad said he agrees wholeheartedly, just grasping at straws for something that doesn't blame McCray-Penson. Jeff said this. Coach McCray-Penson's record her first year at Old Dominion was 8-23. Then 21 wins and 24 wins. Says, I'm willing to give her a little time to get things right and get her style of players. And he followed that up by saying he thinks they're going to be okay. And, right. And a lot of people do. Somebody else pointed out, the fact that they had highly recruited players, McDonald's All-Americans and all that kind of stuff. That's great, but we know this. Unless that talent that you have in McDonald's All-Americans gels together in a team, it doesn't matter. You're going to lose. If it doesn't gel into a team that is pulling the rope in the same direction on both ends of the floor. And there was something about the way that Nikki McCray-Penson was going about trying to build his team that it didn't take with those players. And if that's the case, it's best for them to move on. And I agree with you. I just am not in the camp that it's time to blow it up, make a change, do it over again. I think you got to ride it out. Hour 2 coming up. Y'all stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are about to have a fire and cook some sausage. A country pleasing sausage is outstanding. Whether you cook it over a fire or in the house, cook some of this right here. It's green onion flavor. You see that? But this right here is my favorite, the maple flavor. And this is great for breakfast. It's awesome cooking it in the house because it makes the whole house smell good. Oh yeah. Let's eat country pleasing sausage, the best
hands down. If you go to countrypleasin.com, you can actually order this and deliver it to your house. Country Pleasin' sausage, hands down, the best. Trust me. Davini Equipment, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson, Highway 51 in Madison. Hey y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, BlueDeltaJeans.com. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Just answered the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions, use this code. Use the code, you're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn, and I know that you are going to love them too.
WRKS Pickens Jackson.
Time.
It's time to get back to the Matt Wyatt Show. Live in the studio. Online at thezone1059.com and on your radio at ESPN 105.9 The Zone.
All righty, here we go. Hour number 2 has begun. I'm Matt. In the Bureau, the Farm Bureau studio, Farm Bureau Insurance. Go with the home team. They are your home team at Farm Bureau Insurance. Your hometown heroes are your local Farm Bureau insurance agents around the state of Mississippi. Check them out, favrates.com. Favrates.com. Get you some Blue Delta jeans. If you've ever wanted to get into those custom jeans, get them. And just a friendly reminder here, you can go to bluedeltajeans.com. Use my name, get a discount. Just use my name at checkout, Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, no spaces. Type it in, Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, no spaces. Get yourself a 10% discount over at bluedeltajeans.com. I got some of those Blue Delta jeans. They're comfortable, but they're warm, and that's good because I'm going to the Ole Miss and Auburn baseball game tonight for a little while, and it's going to be quite chilly out there. And so I'm going to probably wear those Blue Delta jeans, bundle up, put something on top of my bald head, and go watch a little baseball.
That wind is what's killer down here, man. I don't know what it's like up there, but down here, it's the wind chill this morning at the course was 42 degrees. There was people out there. Matter of fact, one of the older men group came out there, and this dude said, "Man, they got smarter people at Whitfield than us."
Yeah, he's about right. He's about right. Yeah, it's like, I think, 47 degrees here. And, yeah, I'm telling you, at football practice at State yesterday afternoon, it was absolutely ripping through there. And all the quarterbacks, you know, that was part of their challenge yesterday, was managing that wind if you had to throw into it or cross it, because, you know, if it gets up enough, you have to actually take it into consideration when you're throwing a football. Some deep balls can't be laid up in the air with air under it, because that air will take it right off the field if you're not careful. That wind's blowing too hard. So, yeah, after the weather. And we got nice weather coming. We know that, but I guess we get a few of these. The thing about it is, all this baseball that we've had, you've had largely, you could ask Bart, who for years now has been calling the SEC Plus games for Mississippi State. And up until this year, I did a whole bunch of them with him too, and experience sitting up there for those February and early March non-conference games when it would be frigid. Well, they haven't had many of those. I mean, the weather has been largely just pristine and warm, even back in February for baseball this year. I was talking to Neil Price yesterday down there in Starkville, and that's what I told him. This is baseball weather. Now, this right here is baseball weather, and that's about 49 degrees and a wind blowing 18 miles an hour out of the north. That's kind of, that's the way it felt. Or soccer weather. You talk to soccer fans that have either played high school soccer or have coached it or have had kids that played in Mississippi, they'll tell you that the coldest they've ever been is somewhere out on a soccer field, somewhere where there's nothing to stop the wind. People in my hometown of Tupelo say that all the time. All right, so let's get to it. Earlier, Chris called in, predicted a road sweep for Mississippi State over LSU this weekend. Now we've got the counter. We've got the counterpunch, the follow-up, the reaction, the response from Tiger David, who says LSU sweeps State, and he even sent me a broom emoji. One of y'all can't be, you both can't be right. Yeah. Put it that way.
After having lived in Baton Rouge for a number of years, worked down there, and then as a kid growing up some down there, I don't think LSU is going to be as good this year, simply for one reason. I've got 4 or 5 friends that still live down there that are absolutely diamond fanatics for LSU baseball.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to text them, talk to them, crickets.
Oh, you're not hearing any trash talk?
No. If LSU was any good this year, they would be hammering my phone. But they're not doing it. They are eerily silent.
Normally they'd be setting you up for the kill.
Yeah, they'd be talking. You might as well let that JUCO team just stay up there because we're going to sweep them. You know, that kind of stuff.
Right. They'd be letting you hear it. Yeah. Well, maybe that is. Who knows? Maybe it's a sign. I don't know. I know that, you know, right now with the way State's playing, If State pitches it the way they're capable and the way they have, everybody State plays, including LSU, in Baton Rouge, is going to have a hard time scoring a lot of runs. Now, there may be some, and Tiger David, you may be this way. You know, you look at LSU's offensive output so far this year, they've hit the ball, hit a bunch of home runs. I think they lead the SEC in home runs. They may lead the country for that matter. They've hit a bunch of home runs. They've had some high-scoring games. They've had the ability to just, like, go out anytime in the 8th and 9th innings, extra innings, late in games. When they need to go rally, they just go out and do it. And so there's a clutch factor to their lineup at the plate at LSU this year so far. But they haven't necessarily played a very tough schedule. And the other thing is they've needed every one of those runs. They've needed to score 12, needed to score 13 because they have been walking a ballpark with their pitching staff and just giving up hit after hit after hit. And, that's it, Tiger David. You look at it and you go, State can't score with them. I think for State fans, that's the one worry right now is because up to this point, the offense has not really clicked. They've hit some... State too has had a lot of key clutch hitting. They've had several walk-offs, much like LSU, but it has been, 4-2 walk-offs. And there's been a lot of 4-1 wins. For LSU, there's been a lot of 13-12 wins. I mean, we doing giving up 12 runs to some of these teams, right? So what is it, pitching or hitting? What outweighs the other? Typically, historically in baseball, pitching is what travels best. Not the hitting. It's like in football. Defense and running game travels, right? That's what they always say. Defense travels. Typically in baseball, pitching travels. But we'll see. We'll see about it. This I do know. With State's pitching staff, if LSU goes out here and scores 7 runs in each of these ball games, they're going to win a bunch of them, if not all of them. I don't know that we've seen yet State get hot enough with Rowdy Jordan in the lineup, Tanner out in the lineup, these Chris Lemonis teams, these Jake Gautreaux teams. Many of them have started slow offensively early in the year. They get hot once they get into SEC play, and they play their best baseball at the end of the year and play their way to Omaha. We've seen it over and over and over again. So if you just look at recent history, an LSU fan may go, we are catching State at the right time, which is before their bats get going. If you're Mississippi State, you're going, that LSU pitching staff may be just what the doctor ordered. Okay, we'll see. There's really no way to know. But Tiger David squarely in the corner of LSU's going to sweep and that State cannot score with LSU this weekend. Denzel texted us. He said, as long as the weather cooperates, I'll be playing 18 holes with my father-in-law at the Country Club of Jackson in the morning. Hashtag grip it and rip it. Tee it high, let it fly. Swing hard in case you hit it. That's my golf philosophy. Anthony.
Well, at least he's not playing a video game.
That's exactly right. He put down the controller and he's going to go outside. Never let the conditions outdoors dictate your activity. Let me say that again. Rain, snow, sleet, shine, hot, cold, in between. Never let the outdoor conditions dictate your activity. You dictate your activity to it. Anthony from Tupelo says, Matt, have you ever heard of fans that just watch the ball at football games? This is the majority of State fans when they talk about the women's basketball program and Nikki McRae Penson. Yeah, well, yeah, and that's okay. I don't want to belittle anybody, based on knowledge of the games and all that kind of stuff. But I get your point, Anthony, and it is a good one. Not all opinions are quite the same in some shape, form, or fashion. And since you bring it up, I will say, if y'all want to have some fun and kind of coach yourself, if you've never done this, watch a football game. It doesn't have to be a live one, obviously. You can go watch one on replay. Watch a football game and force yourself to pick out one of the linemen, maybe try an offensive lineman, defensive, tackle. Challenge yourself, pick out one of the linemen, and don't take your eyes off him play after play. Don't watch the ball, don't watch the handoff, don't watch the quarterback run around, throw it, see if he gets tackled, nothing like that. Force yourself, train yourself. Watch a game, pick out one of the linemen, just pick one out, offensive guard, and put your eyes on him and don't look at anything else. Focus on him. You'll actually, if you've never done that, you will be knocked back in your seat at noticing things that jump out at you that you've never seen before. That guy's doing play after play that you had no idea things he was doing play after play. How difficult it is to do some of the things they ask those guys to do. I mean, little stuff you wouldn't even. Let me give you an example. There are offenses where the center over the ball, he gets the line of scrimmage, he finds a Mike linebacker, he'll call out the protection, he gets over the ball, positions it, he's got to snap it. But his responsibility is when the quarterback either says hut or claps his hands, he snaps the ball. But as he's snapping the ball, he also has to get out of there and pull, which is not going forward to hit somebody, but running right or left and peeling around the edge to go be a lead blocker outside and pull, or pull and go block an end man on the line of scrimmage one side or the other. Well, get your buddy, your brother, your cousin, your dad, your uncle, somebody, your neighbor, and get a football, okay? And go out in the yard. Get over the football like you are the center. And tell your buddy to get behind you back there at 4.5 yards like he's a quarterback. And you don't have to do anything. Just snap him the ball accurately. That's all you got to do is snap it. He claps his hands, you snap it, he catches it, right? You're not moving. If all you got to do is snap it, you can snap it to him perfectly every time, can't you? Now, get over the ball. And when your buddy claps his hands, I want you to snap it to him accurately, but I want you to, as you are snapping the ball, sprint to your left as if you're running as a lineman out in front of a screen pass that's going to go out to the left out here, and you've got to block the cornerback out there on the numbers. And as you snap it and try to get out and pull, tell me how accurate your snaps are. See, and you're just blocking somebody imaginary. In a real game, you actually have to block somebody. But do that. It's fun if you've never done it. But I really highly encourage you to do that experiment. Pull up an old game you don't care about. Pick out a lineman and just watch the same guy play after play. You'll learn stuff, see stuff you've never seen. Score updates. True Maroon wants score updates. Got them for you right here. All right. Florida has come back. Florida has come back. 54-52. They're in the lead now with 4.5 minutes left until, in regulation. We got a tight one.
Press, too, after a made free throw.
We got a tight one. Colgate, after a 17-0 run to finish the first half, and Arkansas took a 3-point halftime lead, Colgate has come right out in the start of the second half and taken a 45-44 lead. We got a ball game right there between the 3 seed and the 14 seed. Of course, Arkansas is the 3 seed in that one. Hey, look at here, look at here, look at here. In the Farm Bureau studio, it's Annabeth, the homecoming queen.
I feel like if everyone could walk around with an app that had applause, they just played it for themselves, it'd make you feel really good.
You know what app I tried to do with you yesterday, and you didn't even know it?
What?
There's this app out here.
What?
That if you upload if you
back
upload,
up, when was
listen, this was yesterday. There's an app. If you upload a selfie of you or someone else, and then you tell it a song, it's got song choices.
Oh.
The app then with artificial intelligence makes that person look just like they are singing that song.
No.
Yeah.
I haven't taken a selfie in a long time.
Well, I had one on my phone that was just a group picture, family picture of us, and I uploaded it into this app. And I had you singing some song.
You didn't send it to me.
I didn't, because it didn't work very well.
Oh.
It really it looked awful.
Oh, okay. Thanks.
It didn't work that great. I then did.
It was non-flattering.
It was not.
It was not very flattering.
I would have deleted it. In other words, right, JB?
I then tried it with I took a selfie instead of uploading one. I just took one with the app and did it for myself.
Yeah.
And it actually did pretty good.
Oh. Well, good for you.
But I didn't share it because, again, it makes you look really silly. I wasn't too into it.
So you're giving updates. I heard your updates.
Yeah, the NCAA
Yeah.
basketball tournament's going on. Arkansas Razorbacks got their hands full. They are a 3 seed. They're playing a 14 seed, but Colgate, just like the toothpaste.
Where's Colgate?
I don't know. I'm going to look it
It's
up.
up in the Northeast.
Northeast, Colgate.
If you don't know where it is, just guess that something's in the. All right, so the Colgate Raiders. They are
Northeast.
They are the Colgate.
Well, it could be in the Southeast if you ask Missouri, right?
Yeah, there
yeah,
you have
you know.
it. The Show Me State.
Yeah.
Is it Colgate University? It is. Let's see. Colgate Together is their website. News, events, athletics. I was just going to try to see if
Are they in the Ivy League up there with Brown and
Colgate?
Harvard?
Why have I never heard
Columbia?
of Colgate? I have
All right.
never heard of Colgate.
All right. Established in 1819.
Oh, wow.
Maps and travel tips.
Colgate.
Hamilton, New York.
New York. The Raiders. Are they the Raiders?
Yes, the Raiders. Mm-hmm.
I just saw that.
Yeah, Hamilton, New York. I bet it's a pretty place, huh? I
They're
don't
beating.
know.
So they're beating Arkansas?
Well, yeah. They were leading in the first half, then Arkansas came back leading at halftime, and now Colgate's back out in front.
This says Patriot League.
Okay, Patriot League. So that's not Ivy League, but
Well, I've just never heard of Colgate.
I've heard of them somewhere along the way. Florida has really had their hands full. This has been a great game so far. Florida was trailing Virginia Tech at halftime, but Florida has come back here in the second half. Florida's the 7 seed. Virginia Tech is the 10. There's 3.5 minutes left, and Florida is up by 4, 56-52.
How many SEC teams? So there's Florida, Arkansas.
5. All
Okay.
right, you just named 2 of them.
Florida, Arkansas. We know Mississippi State
Not.
is not.
It's the others are Alabama, Tennessee, and
Kentucky?
No, not Kentucky. Who's
Florida? Did you already say
LSU.
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 LSU, yeah.
Well, we really need them to do well.
Why? Just because it's the
It's
SEC?
the SEC.
Yeah.
Why?
hard.
Did you have a conversation about this, about how you disagree?
No, I can't really pull for LSU, and it's nothing about their school or their fans or their players and like that. It's just their coach is a crook.
Yeah, we've had that discussion.
He's just a crook, and he
Yeah.
may be a nice guy for all we know. I don't know. I'm just saying that if I'm in his shoes, if I did what he did and then got caught the way he got caught, I would fully expect to be punished by now. And I might even have the backbone enough to say, hey, listen.
Let me step away.
I know it's coming. I'm going to step away. Y'all move on without me.
Might be best for the program.
But not this guy. And he just continues to coach.
Coach McMahon, that was me that ungot all the paraphernalia out for the baseballs and the bats and everything.
Yeah, right. Admit. Yeah, admit it. And people may say you're crazy. Well, no, I'm not.
No.
Clear conscience is a pretty good thing, I think.
It is. But it's just an example of a guy who
It's not
okay,
overrated.
the reason that Will Wade is allowing himself to continue to coach LSU is because he's about himself and he's about money. That's the 2 things he's about. Otherwise, he wouldn't be there on his own accord, honestly. If he was about LSU and cared really about them long term, he knows what's coming. It's only a matter of time. Okay? So he would move on for their sake. Or if it was a
But
deal
he's
where
not doing anything
He just
for
continued-
their sake.
No, he just continued to coach.
Yeah.
And he's doing it for himself and he's doing it for the money. That's what he's about. And a lot of those guys are. It doesn't make him really any different than half those other coaches out there, but it doesn't mean I have to respect it.
No.
And I
Okay,
don't.
so we'll pull for 4 out of the 5 SEC teams.
Right. Okay. So we'll pull for I can pull for Alabama.
You can do that.
Nate Oates, the coach at Alabama, it's his first year there.
Really?
Yeah, he's done a nice job. So he's coaching players he didn't recruit primarily. Avery Johnson.
When's
previous
the
coach.
next one? What's it called? The NIT?
Well, Annie, yes. The NIT is
Not important today.
yeah, there you go. NIT.
I'm okay with the NIT. I mean,
Well, the Rebels are in it, the Bulldogs are in it.
hell yeah. It's
And-
good.
And I'm happy for them, their programs and their players. I think it's good for both of them to play.
They
and
get to travel and play.
to me, I almost view it more or less like preseason games for next year is kind of what it is. I mean, and you go, well, wouldn't it be cool if they made it to the finals of the NIT and won it? Yeah.
Yeah.
but it's a consolation event. That's what it is. All the teams who are in, worth a flip, this year playing in this NCAA deal, and they used to put 64 teams in the NCAA tournament. Now they put 68 because they do a bunch of teams playing their way into it in the pre-first round. So they just expand. I'm like, if you can't get in, go get the experience, like a bowl game. Go get the experience, go through it. Let the young
Look
kids
at all the
play.
bowl games there are.
Yeah.
So it's okay to have the NIT.
Yeah. I just, I'm not too interested in it. I'm kind of tired of it.
I'm glad I brought it up. Tell me how you really feel about it.
Yeah.
Give you a break, man. 2 minutes left. Florida's up by 3:59.
Ooh.
Uh-oh. I went after Will Wade, and Tiger David is triggered. We got a triggered tiger.
Uh-oh, triggered tiger. Don't want to trigger a tiger.
Listen to this.
Trigger the tiger either.
Listen to what he says. Are you that blind to not realize Mississippi State pays players too, just don't have as much money?
Oh. Wow.
Hey, Tiger David, I realize everybody has benefits and stuff going out for players. Every school in the country does that.
And you
to
actually
one
did
degree.
say that a second ago. Yeah.
But I just have to tell you, Tiger David, unless you just type this strictly out of anger, it comes across as one of the dumbest texts we've gotten in a long time on this show.
Uh-oh.
On the country pleasing text line.
Uh-oh.
I mean,
I
almost want to respond, David, I thought you were an adult, but I'll take it easy on you since you're a 13-year-old kid. Thanks for listening to the show. Homecoming Queen's here. Y'all stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are about to have a fire and cook some sausage. A country pleasing sausage is outstanding whether you cook it over a fire or in the house. Cook some of this right here. It's green onion flavor. You see that? But this right here is my favorite, the maple flavor. And this is great for breakfast. It's awesome cooking it in the house because it makes the whole house smell good. Oh yeah. Let's eat country pleasing sausage, the best, hands down. If you go to countrypleasing.com, you can actually order this and deliver it to your house. Country pleasing sausage, hands down, the best. Trust me. Davini Equipment, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson, Highway 51 in Madison. Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world. because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. BlueDeltaJeans.com. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Just answered the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions, use this code. Use the code, you're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn, and I know that you are going to love them too.
Show on the 50,000 watt sports powerhouse. ESPN 105.9 The Zone and streaming. Check it out online now at thezone1059.com.
Okay, we're going to have to do this.
Do what?
Tiger David is kicking over the anthill on the country pleasing text line.
What happened?
Well, I can tell by his text he needs some education. And I just think that I'm obligated.
All right, let's hear it.
Tiger David. All I said, by the way, we got multiple people here, right, in the in the Farm Bureau studio. All I said is it's not the school, it's not the fans, it's not the players, whatever. It's just I don't have respect for Will Wade, the coach.
Right.
Okay.
You did say that.
Given what's on FBI wiretaps and all this kind of stuff, given what's on there, he ought to just step away. Because I think, historically, LSU basketball is bigger than this particular coach. That's all I said. And Tiger David is laughably triggered.
Making it worse.
He said, he's texted us now on the country pleasing text line. Now, again, just keep in mind, this is a fan of a school who right this minute, today, March the 19th, 2021, is coming off a self-imposed bowl ban, is coming off the loss of 8 scholarships and NCAA penalties, has got more coming. Has just sent an alumni to jail for a long time for embezzling money from a children's hospital and giving it to the family of a football player and recruit hundreds of thousands of dollars. The guy's in jail right now. We can go visit him. Entire university system under investigation for covering up sexual harassment claims against a football team. Former president, ain't even at LSU anymore, is now suspended at Oregon State because of his role in it. Former coach, they suggested to fire him in 2013, just lost his job at his current job because that's how widespread this mess is at LSU. This is a fan of that school with all that going on right this minute. Just texted this back to back to back to the country pleasing text line. He said, are you that blind not to realize Mississippi State pays players too? They just don't have as much money. Just don't have as much money. Then he followed up. He said, Chris Jones, Cam Newton, should I go on? Geaux. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then finally, your biggest legend is a cheater in Raphael Palmer. And then he sent me an O at the end of the text, which I guess makes up for the misspell. Tiger David, everything I just said in the lead up to reading your text is true now. Not 10 years ago, 11 years ago, not 35 years ago. Now. In fact, let's do an exercise.
N-O-W.
Let's do an exercise. I have in front of me a recent model of a MacBook Pro laptop. I've opened up Safari in the browser. Here is Google. I am typing in right now. We're going to Google LSU. Here we go. Google LSU. Click. And here's what it says. I'm going to read you the first page of Google right now, March the 19th, 2021, from top to bottom. NCAA investigation of LSU football, basketball. LSU offered self-imposed penalties at the NCAA on October 20th. LSU self-imposes bowl ban for the NCAA in violations. LSU reportedly under federal investigation over sexual assault. LSU football self-imposes postseason ban due to NCAA. What LSU basketball investigation means for football. LSU football issues self-imposed bowl ban. Investigation into LSU football reveals firing was recommended for Les Miles in 2013. LSU self-imposes bowl ban. LSU self-imposes bowl ban. LSU self-imposes bowl ban.
But their defense was really good this year.
Let me just sum this up. Now, this went from not serious to serious, but since we're serious, I'm going to give you a fact. LSU, not just the athletics department, the entire university is a black eye on the Southeastern Conference right now. Not 9 years ago, not 11 years ago, not 25 or 30 years ago. David, right now, LSU, Louisiana State University, is a black eye for the entire Southeastern Conference. We live in the age of the internet. Everybody knows. This isn't 1985 anymore in Baton Rouge, David, when the people at the school can control the local media, when the people in the conference can sway the narrative. The internet doesn't allow that anymore. It's out in the open. The best thing to do for you, David, is to humble yourself. We love you. You're just our cousin. We got to somehow bail you out of jail now. That's what you are. We still love you. We don't want you to go away forever. Some of it ain't even your fault. But I'll do it with you. I'll load up, you and I both. We'll go to the penitentiary and visit the guy who stole hundreds of thousands of dollars from a children's hospital.
Disgraceful. To
send it to the family of a football player. Compare all you want. Bring up what you want. First of all, he brings up Chris Jones and Cam Newton. So what? What? Send me a link. Okay, and you're right. Yes, stuff goes on everywhere. Here's the fact, David. Find me an example. In my lifetime, I'm 44 years old. Find me one example in the last 45 years of a Southeastern Conference school that even comes close to the level of debauchery that is piled up at the doorstep of LSU right this minute. Everything I mentioned. There has never in our lifetime been another school in the SEC or program that has had more piled up on the doorstep at any one time, at the same time as LSU has this very minute. Now, David, if you want someone to tell you smooth things, look it up in the Old Testament. It's in Isaiah. He said back then what one of the biggest problems was those people didn't want to hear the truth. And I'm quoting Isaiah in the Old Testament. He said, speak unto us, don't prophesy to us, speak unto us smooth things. Don't tell me the truth. Tell me stuff that sounds good and feels good. They had that problem 2,000, 3,000 years ago. If that's what you're looking for, turn on radio in Baton Rouge. Find them. They're good guys. They do entertaining shows. Turn them on, listen to them. Don't come here expecting me to go, oh, David, it's okay, and pet you like I do Al the cat. I ain't going to do it. I'm actually being your friend. They say a real friend will tell you what you need to hear, not necessarily what you want to hear. David, you need to humble yourself and realize it's going to get worse before it gets better for you. It's going to get worse before it gets better for your school, for your program. It's an absolute embarrassment. If you expect me to feel otherwise, you just got a bad expectation. Okay?
Okay. Well, I've got to go. I've got to be going.
Eddie, you are not expected to follow up. Bless your heart. You can't stand that little silence right there.
No, I don't like radio silence.
Hey, I have the best wife in so many ways, but during the commercial break, JB, she went all the way to the microwave and heated up my coffee from High Point Roasters.
I think we need to get you a microwave and a little fridge in your office. Yeah.
Well, you
just need that.
You know what I'm seriously thinking about getting? The Keurig coffee maker. It makes those individual cups.
You don't like that, though.
Well, but they make this thing where I could grind up the High Point Roasters coffee and put it in the little receiver.
Okay.
And stick it in the Keurig.
That's what you need.
And make it in here 1 cup at a time.
Let's order that.
Okay. You got a split?
I've got a split.
All right.
These headphones hurt my earrings.
I can tell.
Have a good weekend.
All right. See ya.
You too, bad. Thank you.
She's headed to Carpo. Doggone says that I might need decaf. Doggone said Matt Wyatt, Mississippi Sports Broadcaster of the Year, going off on Tiger. You go, boy. Yeah, well, it's easy to get applause. I'm not right all the time, but I'm right about this. David even said, look, I agree. The guy at the hospital was an idiot. He said, that's not me or my program. And then he said, as far as Will Wade, no proof, or he wouldn't be coaching around. Let me read that again. Hold on. Tiger Davis said, as far as Will Wade, they got no proof. Lord have mercy. I'm blinded by the brainwash. Y'all stick around.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
We are about to have a fire and cook some sausage. A country pleasing sausage is outstanding. Whether you cook it over a fire or in the house, cook some of this right here. It's green onion flavor, see that? But this right here is my favorite, the maple flavor. And this is great for breakfast. It's awesome cooking it in the house because it makes the whole house smell good. Oh yeah. Let's eat country pleasing sausage, the best, hands down. If you go to countrypleasing.com, you can actually order this and deliver it to your house. Country pleasing sausage, hands down, the best. Trust me. Davini Equipment, Spring Ridge Road in Jackson, Highway 51 in Madison. Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if, who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, BlueDeltaJeans.com. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Just answered the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions, use this code. Use the code, you're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn, and I know that you are going to love them too.
It's time to get back to the Matt Wyatt Show. Talking more great sports for you, Mississippi.
Online transmission is ready, sir.
Live online at thezone1059.com and
Keep your radio turned on
to ESPN 105.9, The Zone.
Look at here, look at here, look at here. JB, am I looking at this right? We got overtime. OT.
Yep. Hokies came down and hit about a 30-foot three-pointer with 1.7 seconds left to tie it up at 64.
Woo.
So we're going to play a little 5-minute OT.
5-minute OT. It's underway. We're tied at 66 with 4 minutes left.
Yeah, both teams are in the bonus, and the possession era is with Vatek.
Look at here. What a ball game. 66-66, 4 minutes left in overtime.
Yeah,
Go,
Arkansas
go get
it. About 5 minutes to go.
Arkansas has come out here and just taken control in about the last, what is going to be about the last 10 minutes of that ball game.
Yeah, and Illinois has doubled up Drexel 56-28.
Ew, that's ugly.
58-28.
Arkansas is doing exactly what they did in the first half, aren't they? Just
What's
kinda...
crazy is there's a spot on this floor on Virginia Tech's end where it's like the sun is coming through a window.
Uh-huh.
And so if you're out on the free throw line extended in between that and the timeline, you're blinded by the light.
Blinded by the light.
Wrapped up like a deuce, another runner.
Nobody knows those lyrics.
Oh, I do. Of course, I know it from the first version, not the Manfred Mann version.
Mm-hmm. I don't even know what you're talking about now. See,
that's okay. And they got 50-cent corn dogs in Baton Rouge.
I saw that. Steve Robertson.
That was so timely.
Yeah. The corn dog thing. I don't know about that. I kind of feel bad whenever that comes up. For two reasons. One is like I got some LSU friends and everything, and I'm like, I wouldn't say that to their face, call them the corn dog thing.
Right.
But also, I really like corn dogs.
I do too, man. I do too.
And my
About
daughter
twice a
loves
week,
them
I'll
too.
stop at the service station and pick one up on the way here.
I'm telling you, there are
99
times,
cents.
and there are times when you're at a place where they're cooking them, or frying them, I guess I should say. And you're like, gotta have one. Mustard. What do you put on the corn dog? Mustard, ketchup, what?
I just put mustard. I'm a mustard guy.
Me too. I like that mustard. Biscuits and mustard? Never mind. Don't go there. Tennessee is going to play Oregon State later.
Kill you.
Aim to kill you with it. Gosh, what a movie. I still don't like Billy Bob. What's his name? I just don't.
No.
I'm not in. He didn't do it for me.
But he and Dwight Yoakam in that movie are excellent. And John Ritter's not too bad yourself.
I got to be honest with you. That movie is a lot like that Casino with Joe Pesci.
Yeah.
I saw it one time and I never want to look at it again. It just turned, the whole thing just turned my stomach. The whole thing. I just don't ever want to see it again. All right, let's see here. Florida's up by 3. Arkansas is now running away from Colgate. We're under 4 minutes to go. They got a 13-point lead. And then we'll go over baseball stuff. By the way, A&M walked the ballpark early last night, and Florida just beat the tar out of Texas A&M game 1 of that 3-game series last night in baseball. And the new Florida baseball park looks great. It looked great on TV. It doesn't compare to like a Duty Noble or an Alex Box or a Swayze, honestly, in terms of atmosphere and capacity and all that. They don't have that size fan base for Florida. But it is brand new, and watching it last night, it just looked good on TV. New surface, new grandstands. They have these great big grass berms up both baselines for Florida fans, and you like to see that on TV. That sort of had like a Major League spring training feel to it, seeing all the fans sitting up on the berms in their blankets and all. So anyway, that one got started last night. Florida had no trouble. Their starter, what's his name, Mace? He was lights out. He was pretty good.
Mace the Ace.
Yeah, I think his name's Mace. I may be wrong about that. All right, and look, over here on the live stream, I'm coming to your comments. There was a lot of stuff going on when I was going on my LSU rant over here on YouTube and Periscope and elsewhere, and I'll come to some of that. But first, on the Country Pleasin' text line, Country Pleasin' sausage on grocery store shelves throughout the Southeast, Jason in Flagstaff said, 2 Timothy 4:3 explains a lot about homers. He says, but I digress. And he quoted it for me here. What translation we got here? What version? For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but having itching ears, they shall heap to themselves teachers in accordance with their own lusts. Speak unto smooth things.
That seems like a new King James version, or maybe an NIV version.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Spence, what's he got for me here? He said, very well put, Matt. A true friend tells you everything you need to hear, not just what you want to hear. He said, I'll be 40 on Monday. Hey, Spence, this is a big deal for you on Monday. 40? The big 4-0. Spence in Brookhaven says, I will be 40 on Monday and still only have a couple of friends. Guess I may hurt too many feelings to have a bunch of friends. LOL, love the show. You just got a few that can stand you. That's kind of how I feel a lot of times. Rebel Rex, back to watching the linemen in football. He said that he was watching an Ole Miss game last year. He says Newman, I think, was just bulldozing the defensive lineman one play, blocked the poor guy from the 20 through the end zone. It was like on blindside. Yeah. Louvier says, this show has gone off the rails and is now too much like the Brooks show, just saying. Uh-oh, what did we do for Louvier? What was it? Was it the corn dog thing? It might have been. That was JB, Louvier. JB brought up the corn dog.
Yeah, I don't know where Olivier's official fandom lies with college football. I've never heard him talk about it.
You think it was because of what I said about LSU? Now we've made him mad?
No, I mean, look, he's come on the show and said what he thinks about Les Miles.
Yeah.
And all the stuff that went on. But, to your point, all that stuff was hushed until after the national championship. And we had a couple callers that didn't want to go on the air, but one guy in particular said, the money was never intended, quote unquote, for the hospital. It was just a laundering phase for alumni to give money to athletes.
Yeah.
So they funneled it through there. But, you know, if you're going to money launder, why do it through a children's hospital?
Yeah. Well, because you can, you know, and you got no moral backbone, no intestinal fortitude to begin with.
Well,
and we continue to learn a little bit more and a little bit more and a little bit more about that.
Well, and we had the same thing happen here in Mississippi. I mean, the thing that I had lobbied for in 2011 and 12 in the legislature and spent 80 hours a week working to get a children's LTAC facility put in, and we got the CON certificate of need, and then 2 years later I found out the project's been squelched because they took all the money and they bought expensive yachts. They took money and did this, that, and the other, and I'm going, and these kids are still in the hospital, but you guys are fat and happy.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
it's just I loved your rant. I'll just leave it at that.
Well, and look, I mean, there's lots of examples of bad people and bad morals and bad thinking and stinking thinking and no backbone and cheap and sorry and low down criminal activity that we could dig it up anywhere and go on rants about it, all that kind of stuff. I went on the LSU rant just because I just felt like David needed to be educated. You know, I'll be honest with you, I'm a realist and I'm very pragmatic. Okay, so I guess that's why, you know, I've had times in my life where I've had to have these grand awakenings and go, wait a minute. The reality is I'm in the wrong here. The reality is I don't have a stump to stand on. You know, I've had to call myself out. I had to look in that mirror a bunch of times in my life. I think LSU fans have no choice but to look in that mirror. Okay. I mean, I'm glad they won a national championship and the players on the field deserved it. They went and earned it. But it came at a price. Okay. And now we're learning that has been a big old fat mess of a place for a long time. And I hate it for LSU fans. You know, it's not their fault. LSU fans out here working normal jobs, raising families, and pulling for their team, proud of their school. They should be. And just like if it was my school or your school going through something like that, it ain't like we did it, okay? But to a point, don't be coming out here on my radio show and trying to twist it and change it and, you know, sway this thing one way or the other. Let's look at it in terms of reality. Sometimes if you do that, you just have to be humble. And frankly, now of all times in the history of LSU, you better be humble. I got way too much ammunition and way too little patience for that. Chris, I got like 30 seconds to a minute. Thanks for calling, Chris. What's up?
Louvier, that was absolutely criminal. You could never, ever say this show is anything like the one at 10 or the one at 3.
I just wonder what he was
talking.
I just wonder what Louvier was talking about. Like, what did we do, though? Was it the corn dog thing, or what was it? I don't remember.
I have no clue, but I know that was awful. There's never any room for that on this show, ever. And guess what? Hey, well, I agree with you wholeheartedly. LSU fans, you know what? Y'all have gotten by with so much stuff for the years. When they throw the book at you, it's just y'all's own fault.
You just got to take it.
Have a good day.
Good call.
Have a good day.
When they throw the book, and I'm telling you, they were saying it's 14 months ago. Get ready. It's coming. Stick around.
I love playing soccer. After these messages, we'll be right back.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Bird's Eye buy this week is Bird's Eye Orange Juice. Easy, you can serve it in a minute. Thrifty, it will save you money. Orchard fresh and delicious.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy Bird's Eye.
Now, if you know your oats and want to feel your oats and taste how good an oat cereal can be, well, you'll go for Cheerios. Great way to start the day with really great eating. That's Cheerios, one of the few foods made from oats. the tasty cereal grain everyone should have at breakfast. Crisp and golden as only a toasted oat cereal can be. And nourishing? Why, a Cheerios breakfast gives you the power protein that grown-ups need to help stay in trim and youngsters need to grow on. Toasted oat goodness, toasted oat flavor, a delicious power breakfast. That's Cheerios.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today, and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. And remember, folks, Meadow Gold
is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jell-O Instant Pudding, made by the famous Jell-O folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert. Jell-O Instant Pudding.
How much of the teacher's own money was reflected in some of the displays in the classroom. I've got a little suggestion for you this week. Take a moment to visit a classroom somewhere. If it takes going to an open house at a school, a PTA meeting, or simply making an appointment to meet with your child's teacher, do it. And while you're there, make it a point to say thank you to as many of the faculty and staff that are supporting the futures of these kids. To learn more, check us out at thekindnessrevolution.net.
When disaster strikes, keeping in touch with family and friends and reaching public safety officials is critical. To prepare for power outages caused by severe weather or other conditions, you should create an emergency communication plan. First, check important cell phone contacts, including doctors, veterinarians, utilities, and insurance companies, and note local non-emergency numbers. Store at least one contact as in case of emergency, and make sure that person knows if you have medical issues. Also, make sure everyone in your house knows how to text. Check backup batteries for all your phones and fully charge cell phones, batteries, and rechargers. Sign up to receive mobile phone alerts. Back up and print out important personal data. You might buy a battery-operated, solar-powered, or hand-cranked radio or portable TV to monitor news. Start preparing today. For more info, go to fcc.gov/emergency.
This is WRKS Pickens Jackson. Live
in the studio.
Live and local. This is the Matt Wyatt Show. Talking about sports from around the world and right here at home. Streaming to you at the Zone, 1059.com, and on your radio on ESPN 105.9. The Zone.
Yay! Here we go. Hour 3 of the show, off and running. I'm Matt. In the Bureau. Hour 3 is presented by Overstreet Properties in Stark Vegas, home of the Bulldogs. If you're ever trying to make it your home permanently for a few weekends or maybe one night, I don't know, anything regarding residence in Starkville, home, a condo, an apartment, go to Overstreet Properties. Trust me on that. Tell them that I sent you. Find the contact info to talk to Kane Overstreet at overstreetproperties.com. Welcome in hour number 3. I'm Matt. JB's here. Most importantly, you are here. Y'all can text and call and comment. Text me on the Country Pleasing text line, 885-ESPN. Hit me up on the comments over here on the live stream. Hey to y'all on YouTube, Facebook, elsewhere. We got a confirmation. Jason giving me the final 75-70. Florida wins it in overtime. JB says Arkansas has won. SEC. So a couple of wins.
85-68.
Doggone.
Yeah, they came back, took it to them.
They
scored almost 50 points in the second half.
Good night. How about those late runs? So trail in the first half. Arkansas finished the first half on a 17-0 run, and then same thing kind of sort of here.
I'd say that this is the first time the Hogs has been playing like this since the days of old Storm and Norman. In those cowboy boots stomping the floor.
Mm-hmm. All right, Florida 75-70 winner. I saw a note here. This is 8 straight round of 64 games that Florida has won. How about that? 8 straight times that they've gone to the tournament and won their first round game at Florida. So hats off, former Ole Miss player Mike White. Michael White coaching Florida to a win in the first round of the NCAA tournament here. They'll move on. We'll see who they play. I'm not looking at a bracket, so I don't know who's up next. There are some other games going on, and will continue to be going on, obviously. So fine seasons for Virginia Tech and Colgate come to a close. It's a matter of seconds, not minutes anymore for Drexel. Illinois, the 1 seed, going to run them out of there 78-47 late in that one. Good ball game going on right now in the first round. 6 seed Texas Tech, 11 seed Utah State, all knotted up in the second half at 31 apiece. As I mentioned to you, Tennessee is going to play Oregon State tonight. Liberty, State fans familiar with Liberty basketball, lost to them a few years ago. Liberty's a 13 seed. They open up against the 4 seed Oklahoma State Cowboys later tonight. The Tar Heels of North Carolina, an 8 seed facing 9 seed Wisconsin. That ought to be a good ball game tonight. Anything else jump off the page? Here's that one, this one. No, there's a whole bunch of games, though. Just know that. A whole bunch of games. And then baseball. We'll get into baseball matchups, who, what, when, where. Real quick before we go to the phone, I didn't mention this earlier. JB, were you telling me, did you see it on Twitter or something? Tennessee's baseball coach is out with COVID.
Yeah, he's out for the weekend series at Georgia. Just tested positive for COVID.
Wow. So the head coach. You hear that pause? That's me typing it in. I'm going to look him up. All right, here we go. Davini Equipment phone line. Start us off in hour 3, presented by Overstreet Properties, is our good old buddy, old pal, Louvier. Louvier, what's up?
Good afternoon, gentlemen, and go Saints. And so an explanation is owed to this show and to your listeners. Y'all started talking about corn dogs and how to cook them and the best way to eat them, and I thought, What time is it? Oh, golly. Okay. And then, but then you started talking about what I like to talk about, which is watching the offensive line. I am a former head lineman from MPSA, MAIS, and I did that for a number of years until I, started watching my son play football, and then Friday nights wasn't an option. And so that being said, I always watch the line of scrimmage. Our beloved and best friend Sadiq Charles is a left tackle, and if you just watch him play football, you watch any of the games that LSU played where he is the left tackle, and let me tell you something. Joe Burrow stands back there, and he knows nobody's coming from that side because they're not coming from that side. And I enjoy watching a lot of scrimmage. One player is tough to do, but not watching the ball is really kind of hard to do,
that's
right?
right.
And, as my son was playing at St. Joe, I was in the stands, and I like to watch the line of scrimmage. But then, the kid you love has the ball, and you say, oh, well, let me watch that too.
That's right.
Nonetheless, the offensive line is where the game is either won or lost.
Yeah.
They either do the job or they don't.
Yeah. Hey, prime
Sometimes the ball
example, your Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, we're right. And so, to that end, I just was saying my son's very last high school football game was against Bassfield. And they had a guard. He was the right guard, and he pulled left, and he would have started at either quarterback, running back, middle linebacker, or any position he wanted on St. Joe's team. He was the right guard on Bassfield's team.
Wow.
And they ran that sweep left, and he pulled around. And let me tell you, man, he was the best athlete coming.
Yeah.
None of our guys wanted any piece of the dude that didn't have the ball. Not to mention how badass the dude with the ball was. And they replaced them, So just saying that if your offensive line is better and more athletic than the other team's defensive line, you should win the football game, Coach. It's kind of easy.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, and it is won and lost in the line of scrimmage. Good call, Olivier. Appreciate you.
All right.
Have a good one. He's right. He's right. And a prime example, I would tell you, too, like if you want to just do an experiment. This Super Bowl is a great example. It's pretty obvious when you're getting outside pass rush. But you want to watch an offensive lineman dominate a football game on about 5 or 6 different key plays in about 5 or 6 different ways. The Egg Bowl in 2016, that was the year. It was in Oxford, remember, and Nick Fitzgerald went off and ran all up and down the field for all those yards. Man, it was 2016, I believe. Wouldn't it have been 16? It might have been 17. Whatever year that was. Yeah, I think it was 16. Yeah, it was. It was in Oxford. And Fitzgerald runs for what did he run for? Or the team ran for 400-something yards or whatever the heck it was. It was pretty ridiculous. But watch Elton Jenkins. And I think Elton might have played like 2 different positions in that game on the offensive line. But watch him throughout just do that one. Go back, pick him out, just keep your eyes on him. You talk about a guy dominating a football game from the offensive line and playing guard and tackle. It's absolutely, it's a line of scrimmage ball game. It starts there for sure. Okay, hey, listen, real quick, I want to tell you all about something that JB alerted me to earlier. I guess it was last week. You might have heard us mention it, and you may have heard Jake talk about it as well. But tomorrow, there's going to be an event going on in the area called Singing for the Kids. And not only is JB involved, but one of our 5-star texters on the show, Hogjowl, is also going to be involved. And he is on the Divinity Equipment phone line right now. JB, we got Hogjowl?
Yes, sir.
Hey.
I am here.
Hey, Hogdow, what's up?
Oh, it's a great day. The Hogs won, right?
They sure did. They turned it on, man. They turned it on and sprinted to the finish. Hey, first of all, tip of the cap to what y'all are doing to raise money tomorrow. Well, really could be more than just tomorrow for the kids at Blair Batson. But for those listening, Hogs Owl, that don't know, give us a refresher course on what is going on tomorrow.
Well, it's simple, but it's unique, I think. My running buddy and I, Philip Till, we have a little duo that we do called Till and Farron, and we are going to start playing music tomorrow morning at 9:30 at the Flowood Antique Market, and we're going to try to continue playing nonstop until 6 o'clock Sunday afternoon. That includes the wee hours of the morning all the way through.
Wow.
We are going to have a 5-minute break each hour for the cause or whatever the case may be. And some of our friends who are local musicians are going to come and kind of sing along with us and keep us awake and all like this. But what we're doing, we're taking pledges on a dollar amount that people would like to donate for the children of Mississippi. I had a young girl, matter of fact, a cancer patient from Pennsylvania that pledged 25 cents an hour yesterday, and it just almost led me to tears. But, you know, $1 an hour and we play the entire 32 hours, basically, then your pledge would be $32.
Right. Okay.
So the longer we play, the more money involved, basically.
Okay. Y'all can put the Wyatts down for $2 an hour. Okay. $2
Awesome.
an hour. So put us down. And I'm encouraging.
I really appreciate it.
Yeah, absolutely. Put us down. And then I highly encourage, and I'll even challenge some of the folks. I know Louvier said that he wants to get involved. He said that earlier in the week. If you're listening and if you're a part of this show, y'all know we hear from Hog Jowl, and JB's going to go and sing. I challenge you to do the same, whether it's 2 cents an hour or 25 cents an hour or $1 an hour. Challenge you to be a part of this also. Hey, how'd you come up with this idea to do this, Hog Jowl?
Well, Matt, I was going to do it last year, and then COVID hit, and all of our lives kind of got put on hold for a while. But basically, my dad passed away 3 years ago, and he was the kindest, most giving human being that I ever met. He didn't have a lot of money financially and things, but he had the biggest heart in the world, and he was just always giving. And when he passed away, it made me realize that I wasn't doing enough. I'd always given tips of when I play or whatever to Batsons, but it just seemed like I could do so much more. And JB, you and I have talked about this. We've had some tears, as a matter of fact, when we've talked about stuff like this. But
got some right now.
You know, we're all capable of doing something. I just believe we're on this earth to serve. I mean, just to serve. You know.
Mm-hmm.
And since I play music, I said, okay, what can we do that's unique that, as far as I know, hadn't been done before? And we came up with this crazy thing. Can we play nonstop without falling asleep for 32, 36 hours, however long it is, you know?
Yeah, sure. Well, it's really neat. I appreciate you sharing that, you know, about your dad and the motivation. That's really special. And Hog Jowl, am I right in assuming that you've never played solidly without stopping for that long before? Is this going to be a first for you?
It's going to be a first. 3 different nights in the last 2 weeks, I've started playing at midnight until late in the morning, just to try to just get accustomed to staying awake and the long hours. So, yeah, you know, it's you play the guitar, it's kind of tough on the fingers after a few hours. But, you know,
Right.
we're gonna use super glue on the ends of our fingers, and we also play the keyboard, so we're going to kind of switch off on the keyboard a little bit, which is much kinder than a guitar string is.
Sure. Right. especially new string. You don't have new strings on that guitar. That's going to chew your fingers up if you do.
No, I changed them last week. I didn't want to go in with brand new strings. It would stretch and everything, so I changed them out last week.
There you go. Hey, both of y'all, Hog Jowl, JB, we got some folks asking about details. Just whatever you're comfortable giving folks that may want to pledge.
I mean, I'll be glad to tell you. I'll be glad to tell you. And what we wanted to do, very important to myself, I did not want to collect any funds whatsoever. So when we contacted the Children of Mississippi, they were excited about this, and they've set up a special link to them.
Okay.
We have a very nice young lady here at Flowood Antique Market by the name of Karen. After the event is over and it's determined how many hours we played nonstop, she will be emailing every person that pledged with the amount of hours.
Okay.
And at that point, she will give them a link to Children of Mississippi, and they will make their payments directly to them.
Okay, directly to them. In order to get our email addresses to her, do we go to a website right now?
Yes. It's if I may say it, it's Flowood Marketplace LLC.
Okay.
At gmail.com.
Yeah, I've got that right here in a couple of just paragraphs to kind of sum everything up. And it basically says Flowood Flea Market and Antique Mall is located at 1325 Flowood Drive in Flowood. The market will be open during regular hours, 9 a.m. until 5 p.m. on Saturday and 12 to 5 p.m. on Sunday. All entry fees for the weekend are donated to Children's of Mississippi, and Hog Jowl and Till will play outside the dock during the marathon to meet their goal to allow patrons and encouraged to stay and listen to the music even after the market's closed. And so that again, that's starting at 9:30 on March the 20th, which is tomorrow.
Okay.
And hopefully going through Sunday, the 21st, at around 6 p.m. And again, that email address is flowoodmarketplacellc@gmail.com.
Okay. So, for instance, so here's what we do, JB. If you see there at the top of the Country Pleasing text line, we got a few folks that
I can take
are asking. Let's just text them back, and let's just send them that email address. You know, you might copy and paste it in there. So, like Law Dog, Thibodeau, Louvier, some of y'all that are asking for the details, JB's going to jump in here and just text you back this email address, flowoodmarketplacellc@gmail.com. And you can give them your email. We'll do the same. And that's a good way to do it. And otherwise, right, Hog Jowl, if they're in the area, just come on out and stand around and listen as you guys sing.
Oh, absolutely. And, hey, if you can't sleep at 2 o'clock on Sunday morning, come out. We'll be here. We'll be here playing our hearts out. So.
That's great. Well, I commend you for doing it. And, wish it was a thing where we could be there as well, but we'll try our best to be there with you in spirit. And Hog Jowl, since I have you here on the phone, again, I know I sort of thanked you indirectly last week or over the last couple of weeks for the gift of the painting and the little silver pin of our dog Lady for us, our family, and for my daughter that you sent us. But really, I think that's just another example of you fulfilling your mission, if you will, that you said once you lost your father. Can't thank you enough. Meant so much to us. Hope you understand that.
Matt, I appreciate you guys. I mean, I consider all the callers and texters almost like family. So I appreciate the radio station.
Yeah, well, we're glad to help and hope it goes well. Hey, and before you go, woo pig.
Woo pig suey. Bye.
Bye. Thank you. Good old Hog Jowl. I tell you what, he put some smiles on our faces as a family. He sent us that
I bet he did.
That painting. Beautiful. You ought to see it. I still haven't tweeted the picture.
I'll tell you this, man. There's something about giving and serving that, we can describe and we can talk about and all this kind of stuff. But when he was describing for me how excited he was to get that painting for you guys and to get it, he could not wait. He was going to wait till y'all were coming down here to Vicksburg one day and get it to you.
Yeah.
But he couldn't wait to get it to you. He was so overjoyed and excited. So,
well, and I'll be honest with you, it touched us to the point that it's almost been what's the right word? We were so emotional when we lost Lady, but it's so sentimental that for our family, it's been a little hard to talk about and even put into words the effect that it had on us when we opened that box and saw what was in there. We have it, on our bookcase up by the TV in our living room, and I put it way up on the top shelf so that we can all see it, and so that neither Al nor Dub can get up there and knock it down. Because I'm telling you, if Dub could get up there, he'd get up there and knock it down. And that's just the way he is. But anyway, yeah, so happy to help. So that email address, if y'all are just tuning in, you want to pledge ever how many straight hours they can go playing music beginning tomorrow morning at the Flowood Antique Market. We pledged $2 an hour, but whatever that is, whatever you can pledge, the email address, flowwoodmarketplacellc@gmail.com, and then you'll get details once the event is done, and with a link to go directly to.
Yeah, they can follow my Twitter site if they want to. I'll have some pictures and some stuff up.
All right, so he's at Dr. Brojo, at Dr. Brojo. Okay, and then you'll get a link, and you'll just be able to donate directly to Blair Batson, Children's of Mississippi, when it's over with. Good stuff. All right. We'll check back in on what's going to happen on the baseball diamond around the SEC and elsewhere when we come back. I'm Matt in the Bureau. Stick around.
If I'm not commuting anymore.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beechnut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beechnut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
Jeans do come true. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt. Just answer the questions. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Answer the questions. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn.
Farm Bureau Insurance stands ready to provide financial relief to our communities in this time of crisis. This includes a one-time credit to all personal auto policyholders, a donation of $500,000 to the Mississippi Food Network, and additional payment options for those hit the hardest, all while continuing to service customer claims as well. But this is the time to go above and beyond. These are a few ways we're keeping the Farm Bureau promise. To learn more, talk to your agent or visit us online. Go with the home team.
Hey, y'all, let me tell you a little bit about C Spire. New stuff in 2021, including 5G coverage. If you go to their website right now, cspire.com, you're going to see their no bull, which, by the way, I love the Super Bowl ad with the slow motion bull. You're going to see that on the website. But look, they're right. There's been a lot of bull over the years in your wireless bill, depending on if who you were with. And my experience with C Spire is just like they say, there's no bull. I know what it's going to cost me each month. I know what my coverage is the number one coverage in Mississippi, period, the number one network. And they've got 5G phones that are 5G ready. Now, I have the new iPhone 12 Pro Max, got it at C Spire, went and did curbside at my local C Spire location and did the exchange where I traded in my old one, got the new one, and it's 5G capable. And we've got 5G coverage in parts of Mississippi, and it's just growing by the day. So you really ought to check that out, okay? And in terms of the new phones, you got deals going on those as well. Find those out at cspire.com. C-Spire, customer inspired.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Every farmer understands their farm can't thrive without some good partners like sun, soil, and rain. And farmers in North Mississippi also rely on another important partner, Mississippi Land Bank, because land and farm financing are Mississippi Land Bank's primary focus. We've grown alongside these farmers' crops for more than 100 years. We understand what a farmer needs, and we know the lay of the land in North Mississippi, and that's where I stand.
A lot of people in the equipment world, things kind of go in trends, I guess, if you want to say it. So kind of the first big thing that we look at when we start evaluating our business is going to be our turf equipment. That's kind of the first big push, because once everything, the water dries up and the grass starts growing, this is what everybody's looking to get. We carry the new Wright stand-up mower. Doesn't look like much, but this thing is, and it costs just as much as zero turn. Not a cheap unit at all. I mean, if you go out there and look at that zero turn, this thing right here, I mean, it's got all your components from your big pumps to your commercial engine to your large steel deck. And these guys were the first ones to make the standard mower.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy, better buy, better buy Bird's Eye.
Yes, always look for this Bird's Eye Bird, your guarantee of top quality frozen food. And your big Bird's Eye buy this week is Bird's Eye Orange Juice. Easy, you can serve it in a minute. Thrifty, it will save you money. Orchard fresh and delicious.
Better buy Bird's Eye. Better buy, better buy, better buy Bird's Eye.
Now, if you know your oats and want to feel your oats and taste how good an oat cereal can be, well, you'll go for Cheerios. Great way to start the day with really great eating. That's Cheerios, one of the few foods made from oats. The tasty cereal grain everyone should have at breakfast. Crisp and golden as only a toasted oat cereal can be. And nourishing? Why, a Cheerios breakfast gives you the power protein that grown-ups need to help stay in trim and youngsters need to grow on. Toasted oat goodness, toasted oat flavor, a delicious power breakfast. That's Cheerios.
Connectivity to help your people manage their workloads the right way.
Can I have a human hug?
No. For technology that moves you forward, trust Lenovo and IT orchestration by CDW. People who get it. Learn more at cdw.com/Lenovo Client.
This is Derek's O'Reilly Auto Parts story.
After the third time jump-starting my car, I finally realized my battery was dying. So I stopped by O'Reilly to have it checked. They tested it right.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta. Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Again, that's if you listen to me, you can use discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, And at checkout, you're going to get a 10% discount off your order. So I just went online, ordered them, BlueDeltaJeans.com a couple weeks ago. Went in, I didn't go get measured.
To the Matt Wyatt Show.
What's up? Enjoyed our conversation with Hog Jowl a little bit ago. Appreciate everybody who's getting ready to tune in or attend or listen or at least pitch in for the Singing for the Kids that'll benefit Blair Batson Hospital for Children here in Mississippi, and that's starting tomorrow morning. Enjoyed that. All right. We're also going to...
Place has a really special place in my heart. You know, my oldest son had cancer diagnosed 2 weeks before he was 17 with Hodgkin's lymphoma stage 4 and went through about 6 to 8 months of chemo and radiation. And it was amazing because, you know, people said, "Where you going to go to MD Anderson? Are you going to go here?" And, you know, and all the counseling we got is basically the same treatment. So why not stay at home and keep life as normal as possible? And
yeah,
I don't know that everybody has a good perspective of just exactly what that hospital does.
Yeah.
You know, one of the top pediatric hospitals in the nation, and certainly near and dear to my heart. So whenever I can do, I have a car tag, Blair Batson car tag. So if anytime I can do anything to help those folks, I'm gonna do it. Because
hey, so the car tag,
my son's still alive. You know.
Yeah, hallelujah, praise the Lord for that.
Yeah.
The car tag. So people that get those, I guess those, in a certain percentage of those car tag purchases go to Blair Batson, benefits them.
Yeah,
I
like
guess
$35 every time you renew your tag.
Okay.
$35 goes to Blair Batson.
Okay,
I think that's the right amount.
You know,
and it's the same way with all the specialty tags.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you're donating to.
So if somebody has a Mississippi State tag, does state get some portion of that revenue?
Yes.
Okay. So the schools do anything.
Yeah. That's why you have to have you have to be able to sell I think 250 tags in order to guarantee that they're going to give you a specialty tag. And until you can guarantee you're going to have 250 to roll off the plates, pun intended.
Right.
Then, you're just not going to get it. So yeah. But yeah, it's
okay. Very cool. I've seen the Blair Batson tags all over the state. I've seen them everywhere, which is cool. It makes me think I might be doing that next time. I've had the Mississippi State tag forever. Oh, Annabeth's got the Ole Miss tag. That's interesting, isn't it? If I ever have to drive her car to a ball game, people, and then I get out, they're like, "Wait a minute." Yeah, so it's interesting how that works. The car tag thing, we sort of identify ourselves. All right.
I think they call them vanity plates.
Hey, and one more thing too, if y'all are listening, again on Twitter, he's Dr. Brojo, or so it's DRBROJO, Dr. DR Brojo. So give him a follow so you can keep up that way tomorrow. Over to the baseball thing. JB was telling me earlier that Tennessee head coach Tony Vitello is not going to coach Tennessee this week, and they're playing at Georgia starting tonight because he has tested positive for COVID. So he's out. So they have, like every other staff, they have 2 other full-time coaches. So that's the thing about baseball. You got a roster of 35. That's the limit. A 35 roster is the limit normally. But this being a COVID year, they allowed people to come back. The NCAA, this is the first year they've ever alleviated that 35 limit for baseball. So you do have rosters now that have a lot more than 35 around the league. But you still only have 3 coaches for that roster. It's all they allow. The coach-to-player ratio in college baseball is the slimmest of all of them. They allow the fewest coaches per player, per number of players for their roster in baseball for some reason. They limit it to 3. And you remember 2 years ago, they had the vote to try to have a 3rd full-time assistant in baseball, and it gets voted down and all this kind of thing. So I was looking at this. Okay, so he's out. His two assistants are pitching coach Frank Anderson and another assistant coach, recruiting coordinator Josh Ellender. So you would think one of those guys be the acting head coach for their series this weekend. But what I noticed is this, and I think this is that way at most schools. Okay, so you have these NCAA rules of paid full-time assistant coaches. You got one head coach and two assistants. It's all they allow in the NCAA. But how do you work around that? Well, they also, years ago, the NCAA disallowed GAs, graduate assistant coaches, in college baseball. They cut that out. Why? Nobody knows. Okay, but it would be a guy who's strictly there to coach baseball. It's what he's doing. He's coaching baseball. His title is, coach or whatever. They've cut out the GA. You can't have that either. But let's look at Tennessee, how they get around it. Tennessee has a volunteer assistant coach and camp coordinator. His name is Ross Kivett. Every program has a volunteer. So they have a third assistant, but it's a volunteer. And then camp coordinator. Okay, so basically he's making some money with a camp. That's how he makes his money every year. Tennessee has a director of baseball sports performance, Quentin Ederhart. I'm assuming that's strength and conditioning coach for baseball. They have a student assistant pitching coach. So that's different than GA, right? So this guy would be still doing his undergrad. He wouldn't be a graduate. And so he's allowed to be a student assistant coach. He's not getting paid anything. They have a grad assistant at Tennessee. It's just that he's a graduate student manager, Luke Bonfield. So you go graduate student manager, what are his duties? Is he helping the coach? Is he doing any fungos at practice? I bet he is, and I bet most programs have that. So you have 3 coaches, paid coaches, head coach, pitching coach, and an assistant coach. But they have, in the example of Tennessee, and they're competitive, they have a volunteer camp coordinator. They have a strength coach. They have a student assistant pitching coach, and they have a grad student manager. They also have baseball support staff, director of operations. They have a video coordinator and associate director of sports medicine, baseball manager of East Athletic Training Room is their trainer, like kind of focusing on baseball. You see, so it's interesting. Like, you think sometimes all the schools that are serious about baseball are finding ways to kind of sort of work around some of the limitations that the NCAA has placed on that sport. They're going to continue to do that. So why even have the limitations in the first place? That's what I want to know. And then how does Tennessee compare? All right, so Mississippi State. I'm looking at theirs now. We know who the paid coaches are. The head coach, Lamonis, pitching coach, Scott Foxhall, hitting coach, Jake Gotro. Kyle Cheesebro. He's on staff, right? Coaches third base, right? What's his title? Volunteer assistant and camps coordinator. I'll continue this when we come back. Y'all stick around.
Out for movie night.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Arrived today. Jeans do come true. Thank you, Blue Delta. Yeah, jeans do come true. That's what the bag says. Blue Delta Jeans makes the best fitting, most comfortable jeans in the world because they are uniquely made for you and only you. Raw denim jeans, custom fit, hand tailored in Tupelo, Mississippi, my hometown. Let's dive in and see what we have here. Do what I did. Visit BlueDeltaJeans.com. Find your fit, design a jean, and before you know it, you'll be addicted. Just for my listeners, enter discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase. Again, that's if you listen to me, you can use discount code Matt Wyatt, all lowercase, and at checkout, you're going to get a 10% discount off your order. So I just went online, ordered them, BlueDeltaJeans.com. A couple weeks ago, Went in, I didn't go get measured. I just entered, what I knew about myself. I just answered the questions, and here they are at my doorstep a couple weeks later. Nice. Yeah, Blue Delta. Nice. I'm happy. I've known the Blue Delta team for years, and I'm thrilled to have these guys on as a sponsor of this show. Blue Delta's Virtual Tailor is a fun and easy way to get yourself into the best fitting pair of jeans you're ever going to own. Bet you never thought you'd get a butt shot out of me, huh? How about that? Just answer the questions, and they fit absolutely perfectly. They couldn't fit better. So just go online, BlueDeltaJeans.com, answer the questions. It's amazing how they do it. They will fit perfectly. You're not going to find better material and better feeling pants, period, anywhere. BlueDeltaJeans.com. Use this code. Use the code. You're going to get a discount. They are the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. I promise you that. And I know that you are going to love them too. Make sure you use the code. And remember, jeans do come true.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Let me tell you about an ice cream can't be beat.
The very best tasting you can eat.
It's Meadow, 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 Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. Go to your ice cream man today, and here's the word that you should say. Oh, give me Meadow, Meadow, Meadow Smooth Freeze Meadow Gold. And remember, folks, Meadow Gold
is mighty good.
For double enjoyment, reach for Beech Nut Peppermint Gum. It sparkles your smile, your breath, your whole sense of enjoyment. Beech Nut Peppermint in the familiar yellow pack.
6 o'clock, dinner time. Thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding.
Yes, thank goodness for Jell-O Instant Pudding. The terrific busy day dessert you can make at the very last minute. See how quick and easy. Just add it to cold milk and beat it up. That's all. By the time you're ready to eat it, it's all ready for you. Jell-O Instant Pudding, made by the famous Jell-O folks. So creamy, so nourishing, so delicious. No other instant pudding is quite the same. Stock your shelves with all 7 flavors. The good busy day dessert. Jell-O Instant Pudding.
Right here on the Matt Wyatt Show.
All right, let's do it. A few more minutes with you. Let's wrap this week up, put it in the books, move ahead into the weekend. How about that, huh? That's what we'll do right now. Right about now. All right, so back over to the coaching staff thing. So we're looking at how they get around it. You get 3 coaches in college baseball. That's all the NCAA allows. They took away the GA coach, grad assistant, took that away. They voted down the 3rd assistant. So you get 2 assistants and a head coach, 3 coaches paid. So how you get around that? Well, we were looking at Tennessee, and the only reason I thought about it is because I pulled it up just to read about their head coach who's out of their series this weekend against Georgia because he's got COVID. Here's how it compares to Mississippi State, for instance. Head coach Chris Lemonis, 2 assistants, that's Foxhall and Gotro. Kyle Cheesebro coaches your catchers, coaches third base during ball games. His job title, volunteer assistant and camps coordinator. You think, okay, I mean, guy's assistant coach. They figured the workaround. They can't pay him technically a salary as a baseball coach, I guess. And I guess he's, making his yearly earnings through coordinating camps. How's that work in a year where you get to have camps? All that kind of stuff. I don't know the answer to that. But, I mean, he's more than a camps coordinator. He's a volunteer assistant. And even though he's technically a volunteer assistant, he's coaching third base every ball game. And he's working one-on-one with your catchers. They have a coordinator of operations, coordinator of player development. And that is the coaching staff listed on Mississippi State's website. a grand total of 6 guys listed. You know, at Tennessee, we had all those different positions. They list the strength coach and all these different ones. What about Ole Miss? What about their staff? We'll take a look here at their coaching staff and see how it's listed. And it's a little bit listed a little different. It's totally different than what we saw with the previous 2, at least in terms of how it's on the website. You got 3 coaches, head coach Bianco and the 2 assistants, Clement and Lafferty. Volunteer assistant coach Chris Cleary. It says volunteer. They don't slash the camp's coordinator like they had at the other 2 schools we looked at. Then you have a coordinator of operations internal affairs. You have a coordinator of operations external affairs, senior athletic trainer, strength and conditioning coach, assistant director of academic support, and then they list 6 student managers on their website if you click the coaches link right there. So just another example. It's different. Tennessee's staff total and what's baseball and how it's listed, different than state. State much more condensed, 6 guys total. That's what's listed on the website. And then, you know, you go to Ole Miss, theirs is different. 6 student managers listed. If you go to the Auburn baseball website, Auburn's at Ole Miss this weekend. You go look at their staff listed online. It's 3 coaches, Butch Thompson, head coach, and then assistant Carl Nunmaker and assistant Gabe Gross. Then get this, volunteer assistant and pitching coach Tim Hudson, former major leaguer. By the way, Gabe Gross, also a former major leaguer. They have a director of operations, Greg Dry, strength and conditioning coach, and director of player development. So 7 positions listed on the Auburn site. It's really interesting to me how the NCAA just really limits baseball. They always have. 11.7 scholarships, athletic scholarships allowed total for an entire baseball team. You know why 11.7? Well, it used to be 13. And then they said, we're doing a 10% cut on all male sports. Well, that's how you get to 11.7. Well, my thing is, why was it 13 before that? You know, there's a whole lot of why. Why this? Why that? They really limit baseball, but everybody figures out different ways. And then it's all like snowflakes. They're all different. Let's see here. Pete, Fleet Feet Pete on the Country Pleasing text line said, aren't all coaches at Tennessee volunteers? I get it. I totally get it. Tennessee Volunteers. Bill said, MSU used to have a volunteer coach / camp coordinator. It was Mike Brown, and he was a third base coach, and that's exactly what they have now. Bill said, my son always looked forward to seeing Coach Brown at the baseball camps when he was a little awesome dude. Yeah, I remember him. I wonder where Coach Brown is now. Where did he wind up? Is he up there with Mingione at Kentucky? Unnamed texter said, love your show. Said, my favorite Matt Wyatt moment was when you led the Bulldogs back from being down 16-3 against Auburn to victory at the end of the game. The look on Pine Box Tommy's face was priceless. Pine Box Tommy, JB, Tommy Tuberville will never live the Pine Box down.
No, he won't.
He will never live it down. Anthony from Tupelo said, the volunteer coach gets all the money from the camps. Oh, Bama fan said that he thinks that Mike Brown's at Hawaii now. How about that? Be a good gig. Get you an assistant coaching job at the University of Hawaii. Bama fan said, Matt, they have more coaches in NCAA basketball than baseball, and basketball has half the players. It's just not right. Bama fan, you're right. It isn't right.
I had a baseball coach text me a few minutes ago, and he said least amount of coaches probably for the most technical sport of all sports.
Right. And then you go, why? Well, I don't know why. You can't come up with a good reason why. I mean, I guess the pragmatic answer is, well, almost 300 schools in quote-unquote Division I around the country playing baseball, and most of them can't afford to pay coaches. So therefore, we're just going to put a limit on it where nobody can have coaches. That's the dumbest thing you ever heard in your life. If you're supposedly the NCAA and your motto or mission statement is all about the experience for the student athlete, the student athlete experience during their 4 or 5 years of matriculation. Kiss my foot. NCAA, you know what it stands for? No clue at all. Stephanie.
Mr. Acrostic.
Yeah, Stephanie said.
It's like NBA stands for not basketball anymore.
Yeah. What was it? Jimmy Glanville said, NFL stands for not for long. Jerry Glanville, not for long when you make calls like that. It's done through the official. Stephanie said, too expensive to live in Hawaii for a little bit. He gets paid. Yeah, I mean, if you're going to live there, you better get paid, right? Otherwise, it is expensive. He says, that is with an exclamation point, Bama fan. You're right. It's downright criminal kind of what they do to that sport. Now, it shouldn't be a prerequisite that, oh, well, that sport should get more because they make more money for the NCAA. Therefore, they ought to get more. Well, that ain't right. That shouldn't be the case. Okay? But with basketball, it is. It is the case. And football, it is. Why? Because the schools get it all. You go, well, the schools are and the conferences are the ones who benefit from all the football. No football, postseason money, stuff like that's going to the NCAA. No, the money's not going from, let's just say it's not going from TaxSlayer through the TaxSlayer Bowl, the Gator Bowl, to Indianapolis. No, it's going to those conferences and those schools. But what is the NCAA? The NCAA is those conferences and the schools. So it really is about money for those two sports. They're the money makers. Therefore, they get whatever they want. And because the decision makers are the ones getting the money. Okay, when you go, well, baseball, its postseason is set up where the revenue goes to the NCAA in Indianapolis. Yes, that's true. And behind men's basketball, baseball is the number 2 money generator for the NCAA in Indianapolis. Yes, that's true. The NCAA in Indianapolis gets a $5 million check every year from the city of Omaha for what? The College World Series. When Ole Miss hosts a postseason regional and super regional this year in baseball, when it's over, they're going to send about a $200,000 check straight to Indianapolis for having hosted on their campus. Did you know that? That's a true story. Lots and lots of money going straight up to Indianapolis from and through college baseball. Does it compare to basketball? No. But it's still going up there into the pockets of the folks at Indianapolis. And guess what? They will on baseball every opportunity they get. As Pete so eloquently
That's a good way to end it.
used to say.
That don't make no sense.
It does not make a lick of sense.
Do not seek the treasure.
For JB,
Have a great
I'm
weekend,
Matt.
pal.
You too. Have a great weekend. We'll see y'all on Monday.
Another load of smart pills has been distributed, and I'm slap worn out. So I'll just say, so long, neighbors. Get me out of here, Percy.